Perfect sound to go live to.
Oh
It sounded like bowling pins.
Oh, Twy, what kind of mozzarella sticks were those?
Oh no, she knocked over the movie Bob's can stack.
Strike!
Strike!
You see, like, the strike from,
Yes!
from like, Wii Sports?
Yes!
Yeah.
Sorry about the delay, everyone. Connection, basically Pete had to restart his modem. That's about it.
I will take the bullet on this one.
I mean, I'm gonna get the blame anyway. It seems like whatever stream that I'm on, it's gonna wind up that way. Yes, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Team JYCT podcast. I am your host, Rune McNeil. Joining me, as always, is the wonderful Twilight Guardian.
Hello.
As well as the devilish Kaiser Shonen.
Oh my god! You know what? that's so funny given what I've been watching before we started the stream. But let's move on. How you guys doing?
And joining us as guest host once again is Periodic Pete.
Hello.
Yes. So hello everyone. Today is I apologies for not wearing a hat. I've actually. Forewarning, I've had a prescription switch up on advisement of my psychiatrist. So I'm a little bit wonky today in all sorts of different ways. But so I might be a little out of it. Might be I probably more out of it than anything else. But yeah, where was I going with this? You see, I'm already forgetting exactly where I was going with trying to point this out.
Oh, it's because you didn't have your birthday hat on. Because
yes,
it's your
that
birthday!
was it is my birthday. Technically speaking, well, yesterday was, but you know, this is the birthday stream for me, which is yay. Wish I were feeling better, but you know what? We'll power through because I love y'all, and I think we all deserve a good happy show.
At least you weren't sick during your birthday stream.
I mean, fair. I don't know. I think I'm debating whether or not I would rather feel sick or this.
Well, it depends on what kind
You
of
did
sick,
not.
right?
You did not hear me fucking coughing up a lung and nearly throwing up because I muted my microphone.
Pete, you're in the stream.
Yeah, that means I can pay you money as a. I mean, I can always keep the $10 if you don't want it.
No, my $10. It's mine now.
Out of generosity in my heart, decided to give you a birthday. I got Twy $10 for her birthday stream, but you know what? I can keep those. I'm fine. I don't have to give you $10.
No, I'm keeping it. I'm keeping it.
Thank you.
I never said no to it. And then Sky Such said, "Where's the cake?" The cake downstairs in my fridge. That's where it is right now.
The cake is alive.
Yeah, that's for the after party.
Yeah, Raymond hates charity. No. I was just confounded a little bit.
No, he just hates charity when it's given from guests.
The epic
Right.
kill. Happy birthday. Hope it's going well. It is otherwise going well, aside from
Ooh, I think that's a newer viewer. I think I don't think I've seen them on our streams.
I
before,
haven't seen them
but
very
thank
much
you.
either. But yeah, thank you. It could be a lurker.
Hello.
Do you just hate money? No, I don't hate money.
He is very. He's more closely related to Scrooge McDuck, really.
I mean, birds of a feather and all that, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're today we are covering a video by our good old I'm not gonna say friend, nemesis.
How would you
Test
describe
subject, research
Punching bag.
subject.
She's a
my
punching
God.
bag.
Punching
Yeah,
bag,
punching
Lily
bag.
Orchard.
Yes. Yeah.
Wait, guys, come on, don't dead name her. Her name is C Diddy.
That-
I thought it was CD's nuts. I'm gonna keep making that joke so long as she keeps calling herself it until it's dead.
Dude, she has made this prime time to make fun of her. Oh my god, I can't wait.
I'm still gonna call her Lorch.
And I'll just call her a monster because I don't really have a cute name for her or anything like that.
There we go. You think C Diddy's a cute name?
Cute as in you're being cute, not as in that she is or the name itself.
Titania, is she a sex offender? Allegedly.
Allegedly.
And that's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
We're not gonna dive into that unless relevantly prompted by the video itself.
C Diddy Kong race.
Yeah, that's probably why they haven't made a new Diddy Kong Racing. The allegations would be too much.
True.
Yet to be proven in court. Yeah, I just wish it would reach court.
Unfortunately.
That won't happen because of some other pieces of shit.
Oh, damn. I don't know the full story on that. I just know the accusations. Anyway.
Oh, do you want me to rant? And that's not going to be for the stream, but
No, we'll just tell the friendly audience here, everyone, the viewers at home, to go check out June the King's video on her, and we'll continue from there.
Also, better yet, watch my reaction videos to that video.
Is also an option.
But yeah, there is not too much preamble other than we could talk about the topic of the video, which is talking about Avatar Pavi. I read that wrong because I had the screen up. Avatar Pavi and Fandom Hysteria. This is, those of you who don't know, Avatar Pavi is the next Avatar after Korra in the Avatar television franchise, I suppose you would call it at this point, but it's a little bit beyond that now.
Mm-hmm.
The ACU, the Avatar Cinematic Universe.
One of the next Avatars. No, I'm pretty sure it's the one immediately after Korra. I'm pretty sure they've come.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah.
So it's like it, and there's some interesting comments that were made that people say are taken out of context, and you know what? They probably are, but for the memes, they're hilarious. Like, oh, Kora literally led the world into an apocalypse.
Whoa.
Yeah,
that's because like the next story, Pavi's story, is going to take place in a post-apocalypse, and apparently the Avatar is going to be hated because of something everyone perceived, and that's how I figure it's going to be. Everyone perceived Kora being responsible for the apocalyptic event, but we'll probably learn that Kora was trying to stop said apocalyptic event, but just got kind of blamed for it as a result.
Because
my understanding. Oh, go ahead.
I kind of wonder if they did that because Kora was a very controversial figure around the time when her show was on. Like
Kora's aunt.
I wouldn't be surprised. It was my understanding that like all those memes originated from the fact that Kora was the one who
opened the spirit portals, right?
Yeah. Which the last time that those were open, spirits took over the earth, forced people to live on lion turtles, and made it impossible for them to live in nature without magic, and even that's debatable.
Well, I mean, like, even what I was talking about was like the idea that the Avatar is hated and blamed because they perceive that Kora had brought on the apocalypse, and that might have been because of like the fandom reaction. Because we do know famously that they tried to incorporate fandom into Legend of Korra when it came out with the whole shipping thing. That went up in flames because these are completely different characters and they don't have the same context.
Yeah. Dude, imagine this becoming like some kind of fandom commentary, like, you guys didn't understand Kora, that kind of shit.
I am so nervous that's going to be the case. Oh, Billy Donuts is here. Hey!
Billy!
Hated the love triangle crap. Yeah, the love triangle crap was terrible.
It was her mirror universe counterpart, Arak.
You know what? I am going to be very controversial and say that I didn't mind the love triangle shit. It's just that they kept fucking flip-flopping because they didn't know, like, here's the thing about love triangles. Love triangles are fine if you
Sure.
know what you're doing. Love triangles are fine if you develop all three of the characters equally and make it so that the relationship between the center of the triangle is just as valid between the 2 points and themselves. None of this Twilight garbage where you always know that Edward is going to be the end game and Jacob is just on the fucking side being a bit of an annoying person.
Yeah.
Like, you have to do more of a fruits basket thing where you legitimately don't know if Toru is going to get with Kyo or with Yuki, and then develop all three of them equally, and even Yuki and Kyo's relationship outside of the context of Toru. That is how you do a love triangle, but they didn't do that.
No, they absolutely didn't. And like, as someone who is fine with it, and who's like, one of their favorite anime is also a love triangle. That is absolutely not the case there, and it's made even worse when throwing Asami into the mix.
Yeah. Twilight did something worse. It was the surprise daughter becomes the love interest for... I
was about to forget. That was so fucking weird.
Yeah. The Epic Yo says Sokka's harem was the only good ship in Avatar. I
don't know if you would call it a harem, but you know.
Well,
I guess
see.
it's a
He's
harem.
got Suki. He's got... Oh, I'm trying to think of, like he's got the moon.
Yue.
Well, no. Yue's dead.
Ty
He has
Lee.
the moon. You clarify that.
Okay.
He kind of has Toph. Like, that was sort of a little thing briefly.
And then Ty Lee is into him.
Wait, is Ty Lee into him?
Yes.
There were hints. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't think they ever actually dated at any point, but like, it's definitely been in. Like, there were definitely times. I want to say that there was like one time, actually, probably more than one time, where she pointed out how she thought that he was cute. There was when they first met.
I think I remember that.
Yeah, when they first met, and she like the gang got away, and she turns to what's her name, the goth chick who like throws needles and stuff. And she's like, was it just me, or was that a guy kind of cute? They then meet again at Ba Sing Se, and she like gives him better eyes, and he just like waves.
Your memory of this is
nervously.
impressive. It has been forever since I've watched this.
Those are the only two instances I can remember, though.
But we know that your memory is famously not that good, Raymond.
Well, yeah, especially like right now.
But yeah,
Lord.
I don't think I mind Ty Lee shipped with Sokka. I mostly like Ty Lee shipped with Zuko though, because I think that there is much more there than him and Mai. Like, I'm still a Zutara fan, but if I had to go with somebody that wasn't Katara, it would definitely be Ty Lee over Mai.
Well, you know what? See, what C Diddy's writing tips are. The best solution for a love triangle is a.
Yeah, I don't think that would work with fucking Mako Bolin and Kora. For hopefully, you know what? No, CD would be into that.
Yeah, what are you talking about? She would be totally fine with that. Dude, it's like, so. She's probably gonna mention her fan fiction about her ideal like avatar.
Oh no, I'm pretty sure that she does, because I think that there was something about siblings.
I remember when we had to read that twice.
Yeah, I remember. Oh my god,
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Her writing is just so atrocious. There is nothing there to interest you. It is just, we go in building, we do this, we sit down,
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's nothing interesting about like even her attempts to say something. Like the more interesting things are not. They're more macro level in terms of like, and when I say interesting, I mean typically hilarious. It's more like you pull back and think about it for more than 5 seconds, and you're like, okay, that contradicts everything that just happened here, and here. Like, it's that
Yeah.
sort of, like, bad. As opposed to what we're reading in Bad Fanfiction Night to Night, which also has that, but also has, like, some insane fucking prose going on.
Yeah.
It's like said and then asked, or said and asked. That's the phrase they always say.
Yeah, said and asked. Ugh.
God. And then they also have like these weird like attempts to say different words. They don't know what it means, or they get the word wrong.
Yep. Someone mentioned wait, she drew Tai and Kari art?
What?
Guys,
Oh,
what is
like
this?
the Digimon characters?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
it's kind of well known that Tai and Kari have a bit of a weird relationship in the show. It's more prominent in Japanese than it is in English, but you can still tell that there's something off. And that's mostly on Kari's end, because it is a very common thing in Japanese media that older siblings take on a more parental role for their younger siblings rather than their parents actually parenting them. So whereas in Western society, you get this sort of thing where children might have small crushes on their parents for a little while before they grow up and go out and find other people who are not their parents, but still kind of have the same personality as their parents. It's the same thing with that, but with their siblings instead of their parents. Like Kari,
you see it
eventually,
all the time, and you see it exaggerated for comedy all the time in anime.
yeah, you do. It's the same thing there, but it's not really meant to be an overt thing, because it's kind of meant to be a sort of metaphor for Kari being jealous that her brother's attention is being taken away by his Digimon partner rather than focusing on her. And the metaphor that was used by the writers of the episode was an older woman looking at the mistress of her husband and asking to please go away.
That's a choice.
Yeah.
So okay,
Yeah.
like basically what we're saying is in the Digimon fandom, Kai and Kai and Kari. Sorry, I slipped into the Negaverse version of them.
Wow.
You know, they
Tai
hate each other. They're the opposite.
Yeah, no, but they have sort of there's a dynamic there that like if a shipper were into it, they could extrapolate. If there's room there. So it's not the most surprising. What is more surprising is from Isa here saying, oh no, Lily made a weird headcanon that Kari cracked Tai's egg and also made Tai female. Honestly, it's weird and kind of bleh from what I'm heard. Okay, well, weird and
what the
bleh
shit?
describes Lily to a T.
I mean, oh god, that's
I'm sorry. I fucking hate people who do those kinds of headcanons because it's really fucking creepy.
Yeah.
It's really fucking
Obviously.
creepy. I'm sorry. Don't like have trans headcanons if you want to, but like going and saying that other characters crack their eggs is like some conversion therapy bullshit, okay? It's just squeaky.
I think what I
We don't-
find
I'm
even
just muting
creepier
the
about it-
stream for a bit. Oh no, Bros of Joe, I'm sorry.
Wait. We're getting back on topic real quick. Go ahead.
Egg! Sky Slasher egg!
I'm even more creeped out by the fact that, like, hearing about that headcanon, that it doesn't surprise me at all that Lily holds
No.
a headcanon like that. I think I'm
No.
more creeped out by that is the fact that I'm just, oh, yeah, that's something.
Yeah,
she
the
would-
fact that we're
I-
not surprised is in of itself like super dark.
Yeah. I see it all the time in the Mega Man fandom.
Well,
What?
Yeah.
Well, it's because people ship Mega Man and Roll, right? And they're technically
No.
siblings in main line.
Kinda, sorta, not really, but also yeah. There is a lot of role forcing the egg cracking on these, even though they're
Oh,
robots and they don't
that,
technically
right.
have gender.
Yeah.
Or
what?
eggs.
People
Cat-
don't
cat in the hat
understand
voice
that these
eggs.
characters are robots and don't have gender. They're already non-gender conforming.
Let's be honest, they don't care.
Cracking eggs, that's pretty expensive to do nowadays.
Yeah, no wonder they're expensive.
What is? We are 30 minutes into this stream. We haven't even started the video. Okay, admittedly, okay.
You
20
guys need
minutes,
to
20
stop
minutes.
with this because you guys are making me lose my appetite for omelets, which is saying a lot because omelets are one of my favorite meals to make.
Oh my god!
You're welcome.
But the yeah, and I don't really kink shame. It's just what happens is it's indicative a lot of Lily, because we know more about her personal life and that some of the things that she's done. It's more reflection on she hasn't changed from that awful person to our knowledge.
Oh, of course not.
Yeah,
Dude,
no.
like it's not too long ago where she tried to fucking get entire videos criticizing her, streams criticizing her, like, you know, fuck, what was I about to say?
Taken down.
Taken down and banned from YouTube and all this other shit. Like, are seriously? No.
People
Come
are
on,
now just
nobody tweets that.
taunting Periodic Pete with eggs. That guy on YouTube, we don't kink shame, we kinks position. Do you know what egg cracking is in the trans community? It's got nothing to do with that's why we're talking about it. We understand, at least to some degree, what the concept is.
I know, because like I said, I saw a lot of egg cracking talk in some Mega Man circles, and they go into explicit detail about how to do it and stuff like that. It's just like, oh, that's so creepy. Stop.
Oh my god, Robert Glendinning. Again, 5 memberships. Everyone that got caught in that blast, enjoy your emotes and access to the Tundra Discord server. Though I see there's a couple of sketchies in there. You guys already have access to the Discord server.
They don't get the benefits.
Came for the writing criticism, stayed for the kink shaming. No, we're Lily shaming. That's the difference.
Yes. All right, well, let's actually watch this video instead of just,
shitting on Lily.
Shitting on Lily. We can shit on her.
Let's shit on Lily while we watch the video.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So here we go.
Oh my god, CD, like a new Avatar series has been announced and Kora is the worst.
God, CD,
Pixie,
like a new
why do
Avatar series has been announced and Korra is the worst.
Who?
Pixie.
Oh,
Kaiser!
Kaiser!
Kaiser.
What happened?
We're hearing it through your street.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. Let me just mute while you're playing this.
Okay, thank you. Don't forget, go push the talk. That might help.
What I was like, what was going on? Why can I hear it?
I just know you're being stupid again.
At least it wasn't me this time.
So, a new Avatar series has just been announced following the Earth Kingdom Avatar After Korra, a post-apocalyptic story where all the old systems and states have been destroyed down to just 7 havens, and concerns the new Avatar and her relationship with her sister during a time where the stature of the Avatar has been severely damaged. The information on this actually leaked months ago, and more than a few people cocked an ear that the premise sounded eerily similar to the one I pitched myself last year.
Can I just say...
Oh my god, no. Okay, also,
man,
fuck you for
it's not
making
even
these
a
two so
minute
cute.
Cue the Punisher meme.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was invoking.
Dude, we're not even a minute in, and she just busted that out.
Rewind just a little bit to the artwork that was leaked. The official artwork of like the upcoming series. When I had first saw it on Twitter, it was mostly just something I was like, oh, that looks cool. I didn't even like bother reading like the context of what it was. It was like it didn't even cross my mind that like this was Avatar because it looked like it's got like a similar kind of style. I'm curious if like the style of like the characters and stuff says Avatar to anyone else. I'm wondering if I'm like alone on that or not.
Let's go scroll back and see if we got that image. Where is it? Play?
The Earth Kingdom Avatar after Korra, a post-apocalyptic story where all the old systems and states have been destroyed down to just 7 havens, and concerns the new Avatar and her relationship with her sister during a time where the stature of the Avatar has been severely damaged. The information on this actually leaked months ago, and more than
Okay, this one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I remembered seeing this exact image, and I was thinking, oh, cool, this looks like some kind of, maybe studio mirror project or something that kind of, made by the same people who made Voltron or something or else. This looks kind of neat, and I just kind of like scrolled past it. I didn't even bother reading the tweet that it was attached to. It never even like crossed my... And I saw like more artwork of it around that, again, just was like mildly interesting, but like was at the back of my mind, and it never even really crossed my mind that this was even related to Avatar. And I don't know if that is necessarily because it doesn't look like Avatar, or if because that may be a reflection of like how many kinds of shows try to mimic sort of that.
No,
visual...
I think I see what you're talking about. There's not a lot of armor in Avatar, and when you typically have armor in Avatar, it's very inspired by like Asian designs.
Mm.
Yeah.
Now, most of the outfit there actually does look like it would fit in Avatar, but like the upper half, like the only major armored piece feels very much like it belongs to like kind of European armor sensibilities, I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
Like looking more closely at it, I think the one thing that would give away that this is Avatar is the White Lotus helmet that the guy has got in his right hand. Yeah.
Is that a guy?
I think it's the sister.
Or girl? It could be. I don't know. I mean,
because androgyny is cool.
Guys wear ponytails in the Avatar universe.
No, I'm just like I can't quite see it very well.
Yeah, and they said sisters as well.
Oh,
yeah, so like it could be a sister. And I think that I see, I don't know, it looks like fuller lips on, and I don't know if they draw the lips on for men as much as women.
Not typically in Avatar.
No.
But,
like some styles do that for all the characters regardless of gender, but I don't think for Avatar specifically.
Mm.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very pretty image, very well composed. I actually quite like it, but like you're right. I think there's a little bit of, especially because it's only been less than 100 years. I mean, fashion can change quickly, but without mass communication like we have, it doesn't change anywhere near that quickly.
Yeah, like this drastically. Like, granted, of course, so society collapsed, but even then,
I mean, especially then, people would be reusing old clothing more frequently, wouldn't they? And this can't be too far. Like, what's the maximum on this? If Kora sacrificed herself, let's say she was like 60 years old, so we're looking at a time span of like 40, 50 years of time.
Yeah, because she was like 19 or 20 by the end of Legend of Korra.
Right.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's. I get what you're saying. It's not implausible. It just feels a little out of place.
Yeah, I wanted to know what someone else's thoughts were. I didn't know if like I was crazy for thinking to myself that this doesn't look like Avatar, or that I didn't recognize it as being like anything Avatar related.
I mean, I didn't really think that Korra looked all that much like Avatar when it came out, but then like if the original Avatar was like pre-Industrial Revolution, and then all the time that Aang was alive was the Industrial Revolution, then you get Korra, which is taking place in the equivalent of the 1920s. That is a radical change in difference. So it's like, okay, I can accept that. And then you have another radical change in the generation of the life of Korra, where you get probably the equivalent of like all of the changes that took place from the 1920s into the 1940s. This is probably the equivalent of the 1940s, except for like it became an apocalyptic event instead of just a really bad event like in the real world. You're not going to go back to old clothes in the sense of like, oh, they're living in a post-apocalyptic world, I guess we're going to go back to 1800s clothing now.
I mean, fair. Like, I don't know, but it also feels like there's a lot of well-composed, like, the clothing feels really well-tailored compared to what you would expect in a post-apocalyptic. I mean, admittedly, there's a lot about the setting that we don't know. We just know.
Yeah.
Leon Critique says it's less than 70 years between end of Korra and this new series at most. Okay.
Yeah. Also, what do you mean? Like, clothing is well composed? If you are an expert in being a seamster or a seamstress, you can make clothing that probably is better than a lot of the stuff that we make today.
Well, more so in the fact that, like, you either one of these two has to be an expert, seamstress. Not out of the question, but kind of it's either that
One
or
of these two.
Either of them, or they have to have someone that have made it for them, which either implies they have a larger family of some sort, or they commissioned it, I guess, from
that's how things have worked throughout for thousands of years.
But what I'm saying is, the quality would require a certain amount of coin, I would take it, to look this pristine, as opposed to something like so. And considering the position of the avatar, it would be interesting. Like I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying it stands out to me as like, okay.
I think you're thinking a little bit too deeply into this when it's just a singular image, and you don't know literally anything else outside of this image and the fact that it's a post-apocalyptic state. You are making a lot of fan fiction up here.
I'm just trying to extrapolate from what I can see. I'm not saying this is for sure like going to be an issue or anything. I'm just like,
yeah.
I think that you're counting a lot of eggs before they hatch. Is what I'm saying.
I'm finding the eggs thing because now I'm also like we're discussing now what is historically like what's the historical precedent for someone making clothing and what goes into that, and would these characters we're thinking about whether or not they would have to account for that or not.
Also, Twili's a bird.
Does Raymond lay eggs? I am a male bird. Thank you very much.
Cartoon male birds still lay eggs when they get frightened.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's what happens in a lot of cartoons. And it doesn't matter if the bird is male. If they get like scared, the joke is that they get so scared that an egg comes out.
Yeah, that's what I think that's what like one of the geese characters in like Kung Fu Panda did when they met Tai Long. Is that he like just Tai Long walks up, suddenly eggs.
Yes.
So what's this new animal companion for this avatar to ignore? That's a good question.
They got so scared they turned trans.
Skyzer says, how is any of this relevant to the James Cameron movie, though?
It's an excellent question. I'll get back to you on that.
Yes. All right. Let's continue on this video.
A few people cocked an ear that the premise sounded eerily similar to the one I pitched myself last year about an earthbending avatar named Neva, primarily adventuring with her non-bending older sister named Lavi, and whose central premise was
who she's in love with.
Yeah, also, I should clarify, it's not really a pitch, it's a fan fiction.
Yeah, also... Yeah, like
unless are you telling me you actually sent this pitch into them? Did you actually make a physical pitch?
God, I hope she did. I bet she got laughed out immediately.
Fucking hilarious. I know somebody who is trying to pitch for an Avatar show where it had nothing really to do with the Avatar cycle and stuff. It was just a cartographer that wanted to go and explore the world. That's a fun
idea. I'm a big proponent of like stories not needing to be completely attached to the larger spanning narrative of the worlds they're in.
Mm-hmm.
Cough, Star Wars.
Yeah, I'm looking at you, Star Wars. Fucking hell, give me a story about. I guess, like, give me an actually good story about the the crimey, seedy underbelly.
Yeah.
Izanagi says the ego to think that the writers cared about her fic. No, I don't know. Also, I really hate how cute these characters are because were literally made by anyone else, I would ship them. They're cute. At least that's
They're
fine.
siblings, Raymond. Holy shit.
Dude, no.
Okay, like, look. Seeing as Kaiser and I have actually read these god-awful fanfics, I will tell you the basic premise of them. Okay.
All of them.
Set years after the big journey around the world because Lily is not creative enough to not redo Avatar. the girls have been separated for a time, and then the sister, who is definitely a lesbian, who goes and flirts with all of the girls that she lays eyes on, comes back, and they reunite with each other. And then the sister thinks that, oh, my sister is getting older now. She's gonna want to settle down with a nice girl and raise a family. And then her sister's like, no, I want to just continue on sleeping with women as I travel with you because you are my one and true love, younger sister.
No, it's not explicitly said like that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
It is basically implied that.
Archie,
Every
it's
time
Celtic,
that
you shall
they
be punished.
acknowledge
I cast
every-
iron deficiency.
Every
No, I
time
need
that
my
they
iron. I'm
acknowledge-
already deficient enough in other things right now.
Every time that they... Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. I'm sorry, Pete.
Uh,
I'll just say this quickly. I will say, like, it is so fucking creepy that
it is really
the
creepy.
sisters are so attached to each other for no fucking reason that they both gained like some sort of PTSD when the White Lotus wanted to separate Neva from her sister so that they could do special avatar training that could put the non-bending sister in danger if she was too close. And then they never trusted anyone after that for the fear that they might get separated.
Which even then, that involved like making the White Lotus stupid because they were willing to put Kora and her parents in the same compound.
So this is
So,
all...
like-
This is all something you guys have read. This is not something that you're just finding out about. Like, this
Correct.
is not
They've known about
we
this.
read this.
And I want to make it clear. It's
Oh.
because the designs are cute. Like, I don't like
Cute designs are
designs.
as cheap and worthless as ideas for stories.
I was gonna
They're
say,
everywhere.
what you wish for.
Yeah,
and I am allowed to enjoy them. Look, I'm not saying they're well-written characters in any regard.
All right, we are giving you the birthday pass, but
The
God damn
birthday
it.
pass.
We will steal them back from Lily.
Look, man, I am a noted degenerate. I'm not saying that I'm not, but I'm just saying that like it's really the real world implications of Lily doing any of this shit that really bother me. It's like, oh, you don't keep your fucked up shit in the fantasy realm. You bring it real. That's the problem. That's the problem I have with Lily on a very big level.
Yeah.
Isa says, from what I've seen of the fic, I think the fic tries to be Isekai slice of life, but one, it's creepy.
Isekai.
Isekai. Why?
Isa can't. Why? Isa, at this point, you're not even using the correct terminology. You know what an isekai is. How the fuck is this an isekai?
Oh,
Unless
I thought it was I thought you were saying
Yashikai?
it
Like,
differently.
is it a specific type of isekai? Were you trying to be cutesy with it?
I don't know. I didn't read his comment. For some reason, my browser is messing up for that page, so I had to look at everything on my phone now.
It's creepy as balls, and two, Yashikai doesn't work for Avatar. One moment, is that a specific term?
Yeah, that sounds very specific.
You
Hold
used
on.
it twice. Oh, Iyashikai
Okay.
is Japanese for healing.
Oh,
He's got us.
okay.
A term used for
Fair
anime or
enough.
manga created with a specific purpose or having a healing or soothing effect on the audience. Works of this kind often involve alternative realities with little to no conflict, emphasizing nature and the little delights in life.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, Mushishi is one of them. Is like an
Okay.
example. when you
Fair
look
play,
at it.
Isa. You got me. But
Yeah, dude.
no, I can understand Lily doing that because she does not like any kind of conflict in her stories
definitely
at all.
not.
Like any kind of conflict, any kind of drama, any kind of anything that isn't just the character sitting around sipping tea absolutely gives Lily PTSD.
The Epic
Yes.
Kyo says, why am I now just noticing the Digimon thing on Twilight's head? Yeah, that's Anubismon.
Yeah.
Yeah,
was
she is literally.
Magician of D, Celtic goes on Mission Impossible to steal Lily's character designs to make them not siblings anymore. Now, wait a minute, I never said that.
Oh no! Raven, why would you say that out loud?
I just said I would rent them. I'm
Why
kidding.
would you think that at all?
Look, I have seen like
Bill?
the horrors beyond man. This is nothing bothers me like that.
Straight to jail.
Oh, You cannot
into your
imprison me
birdcage.
for what my soul has already trapped me in. Espinata says, of
Birdcage,
course, our special
now.
avatar gets blue flame when you have a prodigy like Azula to get it. Yes.
Oh yeah, she does have the blue flame thing.
How long
for
until
whatever
Raymond
reason.
falls to Slanesh? I'm like torn somewhere between Slanesh and Zinch. All right, like that's I have I have vacation homes in both territories. Anyway, let's get
The
back.
established rules of what it means to be an Avatar story.
Well, let's
Hell,
go
I
back.
quoted myself last year about an earthbending
Kaiser.
I know the Discord was slow when it comes to actually like doing it when I'm pressing the button. Hold on, I got it.
avatar named Neva.
That's it. Celtic. I cast instant Brazilian. Ouch.
Primarily
Deserved.
adventuring with her non-bending older sister named Lavi, and whose central premise was tearing down the established rules of what it means to be an Avatar story. Hell, according to the leaks, their names are Pavi and Nisha. Either I am weirdly on the same creative wavelength as Pryke, or I am having creative premonitions. The announcement comes along.
Oh, so this wasn't a pitch, because then you'd be accusing them of plagiarism.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like you wouldn't be saying you're on the same wavelength. You would actually be saying. I mean, actually, you
She-
probably
she
could
would lose
still
that
because it's
case.
fanfic.
She would still lose that case 100%.
She'd be
Also-
arrested on the spot.
Also, Lily, stop it. Because just because your characters vaguely, in some twisted sense, have somewhat similar names does not mean that there is any kind of connection there whatsoever, okay? Like, you do know that there is such a thing as similar sounding names. Like, did you know that Kai is the most common name in the entire fucking world? There is no link to all cultures and the name Kai. They just sprang up out of nothing, independently of each other.
That's why I used it in the Artificer when I didn't want to specify a character that in the lead up to the main character getting his isekai moment. He was just bitching about a person named Kai. I didn't specify who Kai was. I just I'm like, what's the most common name in the world? Oh, it's Kai. It could literally be anyone of any nationality from anywhere.
Yeah. Like
Yeah, but-
it really can just be that there is a coincidence and it has nothing to do with you, and it is just you placing your own ego into the mix.
Yeah, now you might say, but why? She's just making a joke. She doesn't actually think this. I don't know, man. Given how highly she thinks of her own work, I wouldn't put it past her.
Also, did she call them Pryke?
Oh yeah, that's sort of like
I think-
the nickname of like the two writers.
thought it was
Well,
Right.
I thought, yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
Because
yeah,
it was
it's
like
right.
it's like Brian and Mike, isn't it? Did she say Pryke with a P? 1 minute.
It means to be an Avatar story. Hell, according to the leaks, their names are Pavi and Nisha. Either I am weirdly on the same creative wavelength as Pryke, or I am having creative.
Yeah, she says Pryke.
Yeah.
Dude. Yeah, I guess. Lily, why don't you
Lily, just
do
re-record.
several takes?
Or maybe she really does, like, maybe she just really does not know that, like, it's actually Bryke and she
Look,
thinks
we
that
can't
it's Bryke.
understand Canadian. Look, we have a translator here.
Excuse me?
That's why we have Twi here. She's our translator.
I can't translate this. She's fucking Nova Scotian.
creative premonitions. The announcement comes alongside continuing buzz that a film about the original gang is in production, though strangely enough, no actual art or visuals have been released. That's likely because there aren't any. The film is slated for a 2026 release date, meaning it's likely still being animated as we speak. As for the series, it doesn't have a release date and is a single 26-episode season, and so it's likely just out of pre-production with a finalized script. Actually, Lily, it's like 2 13-episode seasons. Shut up! Shut the fuck up! 13 episodes is not a season. 8 episodes is not a season. 26 episodes is a season.
A season.
A season is as long as it needs to be, Lily.
Yeah, a season is as
Yeah.
long as it needs to be to communicate the conflict or the main point of that part of the story.
Also, it has been getting shorter and shorter over the decades, as we have learned that it is a lot cheaper and a lot more productive, and people are more interested in tightly written stories and not stories that have a lot of filler in them.
I was about to say, Lily, do you watch Netflix?
Does this girl
Actually,
understand
you've
the
seen
concept of a
Arcane. You
core?
know how Netflix works.
Yeah.
Does this girl not understand the concept of a core with regards to episode count? Apparently not.
No, I don't think she understands anything.
I don't think she
the
thinks.
biggest shocker of this entire stream.
I don't think she
is-
understands.
Good.
Contain nothing but concept art, and there's so little material to work with that clickbait channels have been resorting to hiring artists to make visual aids, or just using AI-generated thumbnails, which are very clearly pulling from a very limited data set.
Lily,
Dude, no,
Lily.
no.
let me
The world
talk
does
to you for
not
a sec,
revolve
Lily.
around you, Lily.
Your characters, as beautiful as Raymond thinks that they are
I
incredibly
never. Okay,
fucking
I said they were cute. Hold off on the slander there, Twi.
We're just
Yeah.
never gonna let that go.
Yeah, to Twi's point, the outfit that
They are
they
incredibly
wear,
fucking generic.
Yeah, they're
it's
not.
incredibly
They don't.
basic Earth
They're
Kingdom
fine.
design. Like what?
Yeah. Yeah, Lily, if anything, that's not like that's an insult to your design. The fact that like AI generated content when pulling from like any number of places, again, like you said, a small pool is probably pulling from like a lot of very generic kind of locations because there's not a lot to pull from.
Yeah,
in
it
that
means
regard.
you're a basic bitch.
Exactly. Yeah.
Look, if they weren't mentioned to be sisters, you would have totally shut up, Saito. Shut the fuck up, Saito. I was gonna say, like, I even thinking back to like the original series. Oh, the girl that dated quote unquote Lee Zuko. That brief moment. What was her name?
June.
June. That was
Was
it.
it
June. She was adorable. I would take her in a heartbeat over either of those girls for the record. Like, but she had like the
Sure.
little like gap in her
Yeah.
teeth. I think she was kind of like had this shaggy kind of wild girl feel to her a little bit. But like that gave her this character that distinguished her from everyone else.
Actually, it wasn't June. I don't know what her name was, but June. That was the name
That's
of
right.
the
June
lady
was
with the
Whip Lady.
mole.
Yeah, the was Whip Lady.
Oh, my bad. I mixed
Um,
them.
It was Julie.
Julie.
No, I
No,
thought
no,
Julie,
Julie
was
was
the
from
creepy
Korra.
people.
No.
Julie was from Kora. She was the
Oh, that's
assistant
right.
of Varric.
Yeah.
Julie, do the thing.
We're getting
Do
off.
the thing!
God damn it! I'm sick and
Oh,
tired of these oh, wait a second. I should stop myself.
Gaptooth Girl was from the Fortune Teller episode. Oh, okay, I'm mixing her in with
You know
know
what?
what?
Jin. Her name was Jin.
Jin.
Oh my god.
Jin, was it Jin? You know what? I'm just going to Jin Avatar. Is this her?
Safety search.
Yes,
search.
that is her.
Yeah.
She is adorable. There we go. Problem solved. Oh, do the thing, Julie. Yes. All right. And Lily, your wife has a cute art style, and it helps the characters. That's all I can really say.
Apparently,
Is that even the wife's art style, or did she
Oh,
commission it?
Michaela? I don't know.
Does
I mean,
is that?
more
I don't know.
likely.
Like whoever they consistently get the same artist, it seems like, or maybe no, they did.
Yeah,
that,
it's
that, there was
usually
something
Michaela
different.
doing these.
That wasn't that
I-
didn't
I-
look improved. You're right.
I don't follow Michaela's art at all, but I thought that she had a very distinctive style, and I thought that looked very different. So I thought that might have been like a commission from somebody else instead of just
That's
the
possible.
wife.
It is whatever.
Kaiser
Whoever did the art, it
confirms
helped them
it's
immensely.
Michaela.
There,
Oh, wait a second.
I've
Von
qualified
Meadow, it's
into
not the
oblivion.
wife art, I'm pretty sure. I'm sorry, but Michaela couldn't draw a saber. Okay, we're getting mixed answers.
All right,
and
you know what?
shit.
No, we are going to presume now it is not Michaela's art. It is a commissioned piece. Whatever artist they got was actually good at their job. End of story. Let's
There are
continue.
several artists for Lily. One is Ren and the other is McKay. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, I guess
Yeah,
it's another
okay.
one of them
Okay.
Discord kittens.
Does Nora know about that?
Okay.
Anyway,
Even if they had art to show, I'm not sure they'd be all that willing to show it anyway. Both because Avatar is a series that exclusively features a non-white cast, and you already know how the usual suspects are gonna poison the well for months, but also,
Why
as we
would you
demonstrated
bring
at the
that
start of
up?
this video, the
the fuck?
Yeah,
wait,
the
no,
original Avatar series did not face that problem. Gee, I wonder why,
But
Lily.
wait, they are using thumbnails with non-white characters.
Yeah.
These
I guess
characters are Chinese and Japanese primarily.
Yeah, I was
And-
about to say.
Like,
What
the
usual
majority,
suspects?
yeah,
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Twi. I'm
No,
done interrupting you.
I think Anubis-Mon froze.
Oh. I guess I'll continue then. Yeah, like what usual suspects are you talking about, Lily? Because like the whole series, the whole point of the series since its inception is that none of the characters are white. They're Asiatic or like at best.
Well, I was gonna say
like,
Chinese, Japanese,
Tibetan,
and then
Inuit.
Inuit. Yeah,
yeah.
it's like,
So
There were,
what
like,
the fuck is this about?
and then you've got, I guess,
There's like maybe some small exceptions for some room for like
the guys that live in the swamp.
Well,
Let's
well,
see,
yeah, I was gonna say Patik because he's kind of Indian, isn't he? Or,
Yeah, Patik is
maybe
Indian. There might be Indian peoples. There might be
Sure.
like
Titania, Avatar came before the anti-woke agenda crowd. I mean, I guess, but wouldn't the angle be because Kora is a woman and she's the main character rather than the fact that she's not white? Because none of the characters have been white since the beginning.
Twice
Doesn't make any
frozen.
sense.
That's. I have no idea what's going on with her. Right. Actually, I could probably check the messages. Maybe she typed.
Yeah, but like the point is that the series has always been Eastern or Central Asian focused as far as like the the races of the cast. Any sort of usual suspects, quote unquote, like wouldn't even be watching at this point.
Yeah, like I'm not saying that there aren't like those crowds of people that tend to like argue in regards to this kind of shit, obviously.
Yeah.
Yep, Twice truly dead.
No.
But to say that makes up the majority of the conversation is again just Lily being fandom brained right now.
Also, need I point out, Avatar came out in the early days of the internet.
Yes.
Yep.
So it's already going to not have that because there was no. It wasn't that there was just no anti-woke crowd. There was just no crowd online. Really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just while Twi is recovering, she's respawning through Digi-Egg. Yeah. So it's like I Lily, and they're all using allegedly your brown-skinned character for their thumbnails. I can't emphasize that enough. All right, I guess should we continue without Twi or
I mean I guess, unless we want to talk more. I don't know. I'm should we stall for time or like I guess I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know what to do.
I'm fine either way.
So chat, how's it going?
Honestly, here's another thing though about that, because like, okay, the usual suspects quote, and this just goes okay, like any like such usual suspects that she's talking about. I'm like, even if you want to like include certain people who would just exclude Asiatic races who just have a generally white skin tone, I don't see how you would have any of that, because like two of the main trio in the original series had darker skin compared to everyone else. Or at least like no darker than Kora's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like any such usual suspects, quote unquote, that would like hate her for her skin tone, would either be inconsistently so, or they wouldn't be around because they wouldn't have stuck around with the original
So
series.
a 5-part stream, or are we feeling 3-part stream? Look, we only took that long the last time we covered Lily because she had 100 quote unquote rules. This is a 15-minute video. We'll be fine.
Raymond, they're not rules, they're tips, okay? Gosh, so it makes everything she said okay.
They're not rules, they're warnings.
They're not rules.
Well said.
Okay, I'm back.
Yay! Twi's back. Okay, you were
Sorry,
cut off right as you were warming up your rant. So if you want to,
Oh dear.
well, once you load up your thing, I can let you go wild.
Well, god damn it, because I don't know what happened, like whether or not the internet just randomly died or my grandpa got pissy and then shut it off or whatever.
Oh shit.
Semi-related tangent. Do any of you think that the new Avatar's prosthetic leg is lame? It's just a boring modern bladed leg when this is a post-apocalyptic fantasy world. Oh, I forgot she has a prosthetic leg. I didn't see that.
Oh, does she?
Yeah.
Apparently, yeah.
It's like one of those. It kind of looks like one of those like running legs that you would see.
Oh god, after all the
people-
conversations, I'm nervous what Dederex came up with. Oh god.
Oh shit. Oh no.
Oh,
Hold
it's
on.
me in the bird cage.
Oh
no.
my God.
It's so cute though. I'll put this up on stream for
Oh
you guys.
no.
Aw.
There I am.
But yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah, about the. Well, I'm trying to think of like other instances. Okay, so I'm trying to think of like other disabled characters from Avatar, because like the first one that comes to mind is that kid from the Eastern Air Temple episode. I forget which Air Temple it was, but it was the guy in
It's the West Air Temple because it's the one.
Western Air Temple.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, the
Yeah,
kid in the
guy in the
wheelchair
wheelchair.
glider. As far as like someone who only
I'll be
lost
right
like
back.
one of their legs, because I mean, despite this being an age where like mechas exist, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't have like the kind of technology for auto mail. I don't think they're at that position yet, unless we're told otherwise. So I mean, I don't necessarily have a problem with it in that regard that it's not.
Yeah.
The fact that
Doesn't
it's just
seem too out of place.
yeah, the fact that it's just like a little metal piece. I mean, considering how common metal benders are. I mean, well, I guess I wouldn't use the word common, but like, there's more than really there should have been. In Legend of Korra, you probably would be fairly feasible for someone to like make something like that. Yeah, I don't really have any issues with it. I'm trying to think, like, as far as the comment of like that it looks lame, or that they could do something more original, or they could do something better with it. I'm struggling to think of like what else they could do with
I would
it.
need to see the design. Let me look at that.
Yeah, like I guess from a creative standpoint, I mean, you already made a season that established, like an entire series that established that mechas exist. I guess like if you were saying, oh, why didn't you just like introduce auto mail at this point? I guess so, but I mean, I wouldn't, be disappointed if they just were like, oh, we're not yet at that technological stance, or the apocalypse got in the way of that, or something or other. Because that's the only other.
There's a lot more to auto mail than just the metal part of the technology. That requires a lot of biology as well.
Yeah. Yeah, I like, as from a creative standpoint, from a writer's perspective, I suppose that there are other things you could do with it. I just don't really have like too much to say about how they did this.
Yeah. What were you guys talking about while I was dead and gone? In terms of like
we're talking about Lily's comment about the quote unquote usual suspects who don't who hate on the new Avatar's design because of a certain shade of her skin, and potentially also implied a similar thing for Kora. And we were talking about, what usual suspects, when none of the characters in Avatar have ever been white. They have always been Central or Eastern Asian in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, that was... Yeah, sorry. That was basically my rant that I got cut off on, was that all of the characters are East Asian... East Asian.
Oh yes, the East Asian. Oh, you know this from the front.
Keep going quiet before you lose it.
Yeah. East Asian, Southeast Asian, South Asian, and Inuit. Like they've always been that part of the world in specific, and then for some reason just hop over to Canada.
Yeah, they've also had like very small exceptions, like with the swamp water tribe, I guess you could almost call them.
No,
and then you also have Petite, who are Indian, but yeah, it's all been fairly in like that kind of area.
Like even with the swamp people in the original Avatar, those are still waterbenders. Yeah. They're just not waterbenders that live in the pools. They're still the same people.
It's like
Yeah,
the
that's
Inuits if they moved
They're
down
like
to
the
frickin'
penguins
they're-
who live on more tropical islands.
Well, I was gonna say they're the Inuits that moved down and live in the Amazon for some reason. They don't actually exist, but that's what that would be.
Yeah.
The Cajun accent is meant mainly as a joke. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hence,
It makes
our
them
illusion.
spicy, but anyway.
The Avatar fandom is stupid.
Turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that? Turn the friggin' frogs gay. Serious crap gay.
Avatar's fanbase has never really been known for being able to process information in a productive way. To this day, a lot of people are convinced that the Avatar can't bend more than one element without Rava, despite us literally seeing Kora do it
Is
herself.
that really what
but the
people have said
announcement made
before? I don't think I've ever heard. I mean, like maybe I've just not interacted with the Avatar community enough. But has anyone ever said that?
Not
I
as far
have
as I
not
know.
heard-
Well, I mean, there is, I guess, like, if you go by the beginnings rules, how, like, Wan could only bend one element at a time without Rava. I guess in that regard, they've said
Well, no.
that.
I don't remember how the Avatar Wan story goes, but I'm pretty sure that he had gone through the different lion turtle world places and like stolen the ability to to do that before he
I guess
he
I
met
just
Rava.
Well,
I
it was-
never thought about it.
Well, so here's what happened. My recollection. So he went to each of the lion turtles. Before he went on the journey, Rava said that she had to hold the other elements that he couldn't. So, like, basically, like in those little compilations where you see Rava kind of like pass through him, that's her basically handing over one of the other elements and then taking the one that he already had kind of like equipped. So in that regard, I'm pretty sure they did confirm that I guess he could only. So I guess.
Yeah, like I was going to disagree with Lily anyway, but I was just saying that I couldn't quite remember how the events of Wan's story went. But either way, I'm pretty sure that was supposed to be a given from the story that he needed Rava in order to be able to hold all of those elements, whether or not he had stolen all of the abilities in the first place.
Yeah, and
So
and now
like she's the one that is being stupid and can't understand how things
But
work.
even then, it's like, yeah, we obviously, as you said, we do see Kora after being like disconnected from Rava using the other elements just to a weaker extent. So I'm
Well,
like, why in the fuck? Why in the world? It's just C Diddy shadow boxing for the upteenth time. Show me who these people are, for fuck's sake.
Does Rava control the bending, or is that a separate thing? No, Rava does control the bending, but it's only bending the lore over and fucking it raw.
yeah, she's the fifth bend element type. She bends the
Clock
world.
bending.
Yes.
No, the energy bending's the fifth. She's the sixth.
Oh, the sixth. Yeah, you are correct.
You see, I know
yeah,
the Lord that got fucked.
That said, I don't actually think that there was a time when she bent without Rava. I'm pretty sure that like the whole point was that Rava has just always been in, unless there was some time when she bent after like Vatu pulled Rava out of her.
I felt like there probably was, but
I don't know,
it's
but
been a
like
minute since I've seen that
Rava
season.
wasn't outside of her very long, was it?
What? I need to rewatch.
Yeah,
Legend of Korra.
it would probably have to be something that you'd have to rewatch.
Yeah,
Probably.
but that requires rewatching season 2 of Legend of Korra. and-
Well, no, you don't have to watch season 2 of Korra. You just have to watch the specific scenes where Rava is being dealt with.
Yep. Too
But
late pulling it
that-
up. You don't have to like stop on my account, but I want to find out.
I was gonna say, but that requires, technically speaking, watching season 2 of Legend of Korra.
Everybody got time for that, except Pete, apparently.
Stupidity
I will
abundantly
pull it up
clear
on
when
my
the
own
setting.
time.
To this day, a lot of people are convinced that the Avatar can't bend more than one element without Rava, despite us literally seeing Kora do it herself. But the announcement made this stupidity abundantly clear when the setting of a post-apocalyptic series after Korra, where the Avatar's reputation in the mud, led a lot of people to believe that this makes Kora the worst Avatar because she destroyed the world.
Now y'all are saying she's responsible for the world being destroyed, bro. There's gotta be a reason behind this.
Very astute.
Okay, so the Avatar fandom has always been weird about Korra in relation to Aang because woman, dark skin, brash and aggressive, you get the idea. Korra can't get away with half the shit Aang was able to get away with because the fan base ripped her to pieces every single time.
Well, no.
There's a
Aang
lot of
also,
reasons.
Absolutely fucking not. No.
Aang
Okay,
also wasn't an arrogant little shit. Like, he was also younger. So yeah, younger children can get away with things than moody fucking arrogant teenagers. Also, the fact with how, like, the very fact that Kora had introduced herself the way that she fucking did as the Avatar had really rubbed the majority of the fandom the wrong way. If you had taken that out, if that was never canon, if they had left that on the cutting room floor, I'm pretty sure everybody would have a much more favorable opinion of Kora.
Yes. In fact, a small change to that scene would have helped it quite a bit. Just establish that, like, okay, Korra's like 5 years old and she's already being trained by the White Lotus and she's already bending 3 of the elements that they taught her. Yeah,
Sai,
outside.
Hello, thank you so much. She said that she would have
Holy
rated
shit.
us, but
I'm pretty. Yeah,
video
she's
broke.
streaming around this time, I believe.
Thank you so much for sending your fans our way. Hello, everyone.
Hell yeah!
Oh, yeah.
Welcome,
Hello.
welcome. Yeah, we're just picking on C. Diddy here as she's trying to defend Kora by saying, "Oh, most of the people are weird about her because she's black." Not leaving behind the fact that Katara is one of people's favorite freaking characters in the original Avatar. By the way, let's just
Sokka.
forget about that
Yeah,
part.
people adore Sokka. Sokka was like
And
the
Sokka.
most redeemable thing from the live action series,
Yes.
aside from Zuko.
Like, and also the whole thing about, like, oh, Korra couldn't do half of the things that Aang did without people throwing a fit. What did Korra do what did Aang do that is anywhere near as bad as what Korra has done, aside from, leaving
So let's see.
and getting frozen?
Yeah, Aang ran away because he was a child, didn't understand the enormity of the life that was basically running his way. And also, he was... Let's not forget that he was told 4 years ahead of time. He was not supposed to be told when he was 12, but he was. He ran away from home, didn't understand his responsibilities, didn't understand the impact it would have, accidentally saved his own ass as a result of it, but that's a complete dice roll.
Complete accident, yeah.
And ended up basically the first third of the series kind of running from his responsibilities, and then learning that, dude, you have to take this shit seriously.
Yeah.
And he does.
He developed out of it, so it's
one of the
fine.
things that people really bitch about with the Netflix one is that it kind of forgets that Aang running around fucking off with a bunch of this random shit he wanted to do was part of him being a child, not understanding that he was just wasting time when the world needed him most.
Well, not just that, but also that he was too scared of his responsibilities, that he was actively running away from them. He did not want to be the Avatar. He explicitly said that.
It's weirdly one of the most interesting things about the Shyamalan film. The very end of it has like the entire water tribe bending down in like reverence of Aang, and he does this pose that's honestly kind of silly. But, in that moment, the actor really sold to me that he was fucking terrified of the fact that all these people were bowing down to him as if he were a deity. It's like, they kind of got that one moment right.
It also built off of, like, what was said, like, earlier, when his recollection of the air nomads bowing to him, and he said, I didn't bow back because he didn't want to accept that responsibility. It is like, it's like what you're saying. It's like one of the very small nuggets of like kind of good filmmaking in that movie is that now he is bowing back as a representation of his acceptance of his duty as the Avatar, and then he looks up and you can just see the fear on his face, and it's like it's a very reluctant acceptance.
It's not a good film by any means, but they kind of got that moment that had like
look at what Lily has made us do. She has made us praise the Shyamalan film.
Exactly. Speaking of, Mr. Knight says, ironically, I come bearing gifts from our gremlin queen Sai, and you guys are dunking on CD. How appropriate. Yes. And then Mark Cochran says, Aang is a scared child. Kora is a homewrecker who doesn't care about consent. They are not the same. Well, then there's also Oh wait, Celtic, in Shyamalan you called Aang. Thank you for correcting me. Yes.
Yeah,
True,
The
true.
whitewashed film. Yes, the whitewashed film gets it right more. But I was gonna say, like, we're also talking on the scale. I'm trying to think of anything that Aang does that is anywhere near the
That's what I'm trying
scale
to
of
figure
what
out.
Korra does. Like, he stops the Fire Lord, and I think that is the most world-changing thing that he ends up pulling off in the main series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
meanwhile, Korra in season 2 opens the gates to the spirit realm.
For no reason, which is just really, really dumb,
Yeah,
and
and-
it would
And it
obviously have
ends
consequences.
As a direct consequence, a totalitarian fascist ends up getting a fucking Gundam. So
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it's not only that; it also like empowers like another major villain. It's the reason why like in fairness, like the Airbenders do come back, but it's also the reason why this other major
Zahir and the
villain,
Red
Zahir.
Lotus showed up.
yeah, she didn't know that was going to happen. For the record, it wasn't like,
Yeah.
oh, I'm going to open the gates and restore airbending. No, she did the. It's like, oh, we got airbenders back. Okay, that's cool. I guess that was an accident.
Like, it's not that Korra made this mistake. It's that, number one, right? It was not in character, and especially given everything she had learned throughout that season about how dangerous the spirit world and the human world mixing actually is. Number two, she doesn't really do a whole lot of anything to mitigate these problems. And number three, there are barely any like direct consequences towards her for, aside from Kuvir, which is pretty big, yes, and obviously Zahir, which are pretty big, and she does develop out of it. But you mean to tell me that it takes you 2 seasons for you to set up something for your main character to actually develop from?
How much does she?
That's really bad.
How much does the show actually blame her for Kuvira, though? I'm trying to remember.
No, oh yeah, there's that too. No one actually blames her for Kuvira happening.
No, I think there's a little bit because people recognize that the spirit like vines being used as the power source wouldn't have happened if it were for Korra. But I think that's as deep as
There's also there's a comic that takes place after Legend of Korra.
Oh my god, Turf Wars, right?
Was that Turf Wars?
I'm pretty sure.
I remember that there is a comic. I don't remember. It's been years.
All I remember is that Korra and Asami confirmed that they're gay, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's cool, great."
Well, there was in the comic. One of the spirits was like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why did you people are like coming into the spirit world and they're wrecking my home, and like this is at the same time when other people are also saying, hey, spirits are kind of like fucking up the place, which I mean in fairness has kind of been talked about since book 3 vaguely, but it's
for like one scene, and
there have been instances of people in both worlds saying, yeah, you kind of should have kept the world separate, my dude.
So they thought about it after the show ended.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
When they probably read all the criticism and they're like, "Oh, we should probably address that."
Yeah. I will at least be happy that they're at least listening to criticism at all, because there's a lot of shows out there that have a lot that is legitimate criticism for their shows and they just don't do anything about it.
Don't like crying. Like, dude, I'm sorry. I'm 2.5 episodes into that show, and I just can't, dude. I was getting into it. It was fine for the most part, and then lady started opening her mouth.
Genuine question: do you want to do a stream on it later? I am thinking about it.
Yeah.
Later.
Later.
Talk about that later.
The keyword being later.
Yes.
Yeah. Also, going off of just real quick, one last tangent. This is about the Lily video. So, like earlier, I finished my research. I did my findings. There was technically never a time when Korra bent without Rava, because like the scene that she was pointing at was after Rava had been smacked by water and stuff. But like the whole point was, oh, light cannot be destroyed any more than it can destroy darkness, and the whole point was that Rava was always still inside her. So. I have no idea.
Rava has to be deep inside Korra for Korra to water. Got it.
Yeah.
It is Lily not understanding and then blaming other people for not understanding the things that she doesn't understand, and just has a very adamant idea of what is wrong with the show.
Yeah, she is just aggressively wrong on top of
Yes.
shadowboxing. That is crazy.
Yes. But no. Rava was reborn in Vatu, not look. We're getting off into the weeds on here. But my final point on it is there was also no like positive reason to keep the streams open that we saw. Like that was the other thing that got me. Is like I'm trying to think. At what point did Kora ever experience anything in the spirit world that led her to think, yeah, this is going to be a good idea?
Her uncle said that it was good. Her uncle said it was good, and that
then
it was
turned
before...
into the giant
Yeah.
evil kaiju.
Well,
Yes.
Well, like he looks trustworthy. Wouldn't you like look at him? Look at those
Look at
facial
those
features.
3 eyes.
it's-
One of
look
which
at
is a
that
giant
sharp
death
chin.
laser.
Yeah.
If
like,
this
that
guy
was-
told me, "Hey, there are spirits that are destroying the northern and southern tribe because we're not being spiritual enough, but if we open up this door, it'll solve everything." You'd believe that, right? Like, think about this. You have spirits from the spirit world who are wrecking the place, and a guy tells you, "Let's open up a door to the place where spirits come from, and that'll solve everything." That's trustworthy, right?
Right. Absolutely.
Janora nearly
makes
died
sense.
in there. That's not a good sign. Oh yeah, the freaking grandchild of Aang.
Also,
That's
why
a great
I'm thinking
sign.
right now and how much, like, I know it might just be recency bias, but how much I like Nox over, like, the early villains of Legend of Korra.
Yeah.
Nox
Yeah.
is such a good, like, he is such a charismatic guy. He's always so casual, like, about everything that's happening. He's getting torn to shreds, and, like, he gets a moment to breathe, like, well, that was unfortunate. I'm going to have to
Yeah.
put effort in now.
Yeah, it's so good.
Who's Nox? He's
Watch-
the main antagonist of the first season of Wakfu.
Yeah, watch Wakfu, guys. It's really good.
Wakfu's really good.
That's another. You know what? I will move that up on my list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Watch
All right.
watch the movie Dofus as well.
Yeah, Dofus. Yeah, everyone watch Dofus. It's great.
Gotcha.
Korra gets blamed for losing the connection to the previous avatars when it was Unalaq and Vatu who did that.
She fell for his bullshit! He was the most transparently evil guy to exist! Like, there wasn't a single scene where the man wasn't talking out of the side of his face, saying, yes, we're going to open up the spirit world and I'm going to take over because I'm a huge theocratic bastard. It's like, no!
Yeah,
Korra's a
especially when
dumbass! She didn't see
everyone
all
around
the warning
her-
signs!
Yeah,
Especially
yeah.
when almost everyone around her was telling her that is a bad idea to get along with that guy.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
guys, have you considered that she was tricked? She was in a vulnerable state where her 2 other mentor figures, her father and Tenzin, were kind of being mean, and so she was like, "I want a new mentor figure."
Literally,
Okay, so
every single
basically-
character was that. What's his name from Star Wars, the Lego version of Red Flags. Red flags, get your red flags, big red flags.
So you know this is a very obscure reference, but you know what? If Kora was so upset with her father figure, she could have gone to the daddy market.
Damn, they got those in Avatar?
Yeah, like just go to the daddy market, get a new dad, and then try them out for a week.
Yeah, dude, that would have solved Zuko's
There is
problems
nothing
real
about
quick.
that sentence that doesn't make me feel really uncomfortable.
Dude,
Do you
Zuko
want to
coulda
watch
used
the movie at some point, Raven? Because that is a real movie that I was referencing.
Daddy Market? Is that the name?
No. It was Mommy Market actually. The kids were
Oh my
upset
God.
about their mom not being the mom that they wanted, and so like they got tickets to go to a place called the Mommy Market where they could try new mommies to see whether or not they could just swap out their mother.
I think I vaguely remember hearing about that film. I feel like that.
I think I
cropped
mentioned
up-
it to you.
Well, no, I think I also saw like an ad for it at one point, or maybe I saw it on TV. I don't know. It's like one of those like 90s
new
films.
fathers.
Isn't
God damn it, Ryan.
it? M. Night says, I'm assuming the spirit world stuff was some clumsy metaphor for borders/immigration, emphasis on clumsy like they're not. No, I actually don't think so, because Kora was in 2012, 13, 14. That would have been 2013 or 2014, and that was... While that was a politically hot button topic at times, it wasn't anywhere near as ignited as it was in, say, 2016.
I mean, it would probably still be a thing that Bryke would care about, especially given how I think they did have a plot line about immigration in the comics after the
Sigh!
original show.
Sigh, I think the mummy markets I've been to are a little different. You know what? Wait, Sigh!
What mommy markets are you thinking?
Sigh,
of?
was that you in the sunglasses? Was that you in the sunglasses and the bonnet covering your like? Oh, we locked eyes. I thought I recognized someone when I was there last.
Also, before it becomes too late to make this joke, okay, so Twy, you were saying that Kora should just go to the daddy market and get a new father. So,
Yeah.
so what you're saying is she is exhibiting fatherless behavior.
Misbehavior.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Grade A fatherlessness. Holy shit.
All right, well, let's see what other thing we're gonna make us pause in the next 3 seconds.
And Korra's only crime was losing. There is a valid complaint in how Korra
Which she does a lot.
is made to take the L way more times in way more sadistic ways than necessary, but that's not a Korra problem, it's a Bryke problem. Bryke didn't write that because Korra is weak. Bryke wrote it because they wrote a brash, pompous 17-year-old girl specifically to take her down a peg and make her listen to her hairy dads because they are 50. Blaming Korra as a
That's
Not because they're
Wow.
50, because they're older and have more experience.
And they
Yeah.
understand that brash teenagers need to be taken down a peg sometimes.
and even
Yes.
then, the show is wishy-washy on that front.
Yeah, she never seems to learn her fucking lesson.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
main problem that a lot of people have with Korra is that she doesn't learn her lesson. And then whenever she does get beaten down to the point where she should learn her lesson, she just gets mopey and whiny about it. And oh, poor
Yeah.
woe is me. Like
And
that
they
is not
pull-
a good character.
Yeah,
Wait,
they
so-
pull in the few times where she actually does sort of like semi-learn her lesson. They pull like a Ruby, where they kind of have her be sad about it for 20 seconds and call that character development, which is really stupid. The one of the few times they don't do that is in season 4. to
You know
be
what's
fair.
weird
But-
I
is
was-
I'm trying to think of an instance where Kora was genuinely like a mentor figure to anyone, whereas with Aang, you can see by season 3 that he's starting to be able to step up and actually like mentor people.
I can think of one example. This is the best example. I don't know if it's even
Okay.
really a good example, and it's only because I had been researching some parts of Legend of Korra for a potential video. Maybe you should subscribe. There was a moment, I forget. She was on a phone call with Tenzin, who was vacationing with. This was all in book 2 as well.
Oh my god, I remember this part.
yeah,
Fuck
and-
me.
He was in the middle of like his little conflict with his other 2 siblings because they were upset over the relationship that Tenzin got with Aang, but that they didn't. And I
Which is
think that
stupid.
was happening. And so like he was basically asking for advice on how exactly to mend those kinds of relationship. I forget. I could be misremembering. I just remember like her talking to someone on the phone in that book and being like, I'm the bridge between people. It's what I do," or something.
Oh yeah,
like
no,
that.
no. Yeah, Kora gave Tenzin advice that like
I don't know if it was good advice. It was just advice. They
yeah,
try to
was it-
pass it off like she was a mentor, but
yeah, I believe it was
Yeah.
advice that like, okay, have them do have the 3 of you do something and then make it think it's their idea that they're doing it.
Hey, now,
And
Yang,
Tenzin's like,
I'm trying to remember.
"Okay,
Yang
I
never
believe you."
directly mentored anyone, but it's like it's more of a position.
Wait,
I'm trying to.
what?
Not Yang, Aang. Sorry, told you I'm a little flumpy today. Flumpier than normal, which is really flumpy. But I'm trying to think like Aang mentored to some extent. Zuko mentor like Aang was the person that everyone went to for spiritual.
Yeah.
Yang mentored the dragons. No, Yang was the dragons. She was just cameo.
Ruby comes in. Sis, when did you become the Avatar?
Yang, when did you become the Avatar? What the fuck was that noise? It was me, Ruby Rose. Oh, the loudest
Whoa,
crunch.
They're called the
Ruby
crunch sound.
Yeah, somebody's eating.
Nikhil Kapoor says, Kora, more like Bora, am I right? Thank you. I'll be here all week. Yeah. Take your bow, good sir. Are there characters in Legend of Korra that are better written than Korra and more popular?
Probably.
Bolin?
I mean,
It is statistically possible. It's statistically probable, honestly.
I
Oh,
mean,
debatably Maka.
Tenzin?
Tenzin. There is
Tenzin?
Tenzin. Yeah, Tenzin is probably the closest you can get to that
I
because
don't think
he's
that you know what? Varric, actually, maybe.
yeah, Varric.
Varric and
I couldn't
Julie.
Yeah,
remember
you
his
can
name, but
remember
Varric and Julie were very
Yeah.
popular characters.
Both of them.
yeah.
But popular doesn't always mean
Yeah.
better. Like, I think they are better written. That doesn't necessarily mean they're always the strongest written.
Hmm.
Varric
No,
is a
but did they ask about stronger written characters or?
They asked better written than Kora.
Well, yeah, it doesn't take very much to be
Yeah,
better
that-
written.
Yeah,
Kora,
okay,
though.
that's I mean,
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
low. The bar's in hell.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
that's the problem is that you're comparing her to other characters in the same show as Korra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
where everyone has to wear safety hats. Anyway,
The character for this is about as nonsensical as blaming Aang for almost ending the Avatar cycle completely, or locking himself off from the Avatar state because he couldn't let go of Katara. Hell, blaming Korra for
but we do
Here's the
blame
thing.
him for that, and those were both
Yeah.
part of the same
Yeah.
problem. Is that he
yeah,
let
and
go
he
of
faced
Katara
consequences for that.
far too late, and because he let go of her far too late, it ended up almost permanently destroying any hope the planet had from actually surviving. And you know who blamed him the most for that? Himself.
Yes.
Yeah,
He
like-
literally nearly killed himself by trying to go out on his own.
Yeah.
The problem with how Aang is treated and how Korra is treated is that Korra doesn't get a lot of consequences for her actions. And I'm pretty sure that even though that she gets the shit beat out of her a lot more and she has a lot more severe things happen to her, she still gets babied, unlike how Aang got treated. Because, like, even though that everything that happens to Korra is a lot more severe, she still just gets coddled by the show, by the other characters. They
Every
take
time
her...
that she has a moment of self-doubt, I'm trying to remember explicitly which that, because it's been years since I've watched Korra, but I do distinctly remember things like, oh, it's all my fault, and then some character will come in, no, it's not, it's
No,
Blank's
it's
fault.
not.
Yeah,
Like it could be Mako or something.
The closest
Yeah.
one that I could name where she does actively self-reflect is when Toph is lecturing Korra in season 4.
Because Toph doesn't
Yeah.
care about coddling her.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That is the problem with Korra and a lot of female characters that are like her, is that the writers don't allow these female characters to have proper consequences to their actions. They need to treat their female characters like they're made of glass, when they should be treating them like the strong, made of iron characters that they should be.
Bill,
Yeah, like, and also, let's be
clarification here, 'cause
honest-
Bill is saying that
Oh,
all
good,
of Korra's
sorry.
actions do have a lot of consequences. How far are we into the video? We're about 3.5 minutes. But
Like, they do have
they
material
have larger
consequences.
scale consequences, but on the personal level, she never seems to take accountability for any of them.
Yeah, no.
The mayor of Republic City is the most based person in the entire setting because that motherfucker rightfully blames Korra for everything horrible that happens in that city,
Yeah.
and he's right.
Yeah, when
Yes.
Aang fucks up, everybody blames him. When Korra
Bato of the
fucks
Water
up,
Tribe.
everyone just comes around and gives Korra a big group hug and says, "Oh no, sweetheart, it's not your fault. It's fine."
Does anyone remember the episode Bato of the Water Tribe? That's
I
one of the
remember.
first. That's one of the first I remember. It's one of the first examples I think of like Aang being held responsible for his mistakes in an episode that focuses on like one of his mistakes is that he is someone who is very much a show off kind of person, and like out of jealousy that attention between his only two friends is taken away by this new guy Bato of the Water Tribe. He hides an important letter detailing the arrival of their father for days, and Sokka rips into him when he finds out about this. And I can't help but feel like, okay, if the roles were reversed, they'd have like Sokka be in the wrong and Katara like be on Korra's side. And they would
Yeah. Basically, they would have one of the two characters that were there present baby the
They would
protagonist.
do what Ruby did in that scene in Volume 9 when Jean yelled at Ruby.
People
They
taking
would do the
John's
same
side.
exact
Yeah.
shit.
It's like,
I took John's side.
I mean, I did
Yes,
too.
I did. Everyone did. Everyone who matters anyway.
But also, Titania was like, oh, who's Birdie? Birdie the Mighty from Birdie the Mighty Decode. Everyone go watch it. That's a fantastic series. And also, Titania, if you want a better example from this show, Toph, Katara, Suki,
yeah, exactly.
Yue is a better character than Kora.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like the majority of the female characters in both Avatar and Korra are better female characters than Korra.
Mai, Ty Lee, Azula.
Yeah.
You
Everybody likes
just
them.
asked, like, who is a better example of a character who doesn't get coddled specifically? So I said, like, Birdie, because when does Birdie ever get coddled in the show?
Everyone is constantly on Birdie's ass in that show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She wants to get away from all of them. That's how bad it is.
Yeah, like she is constantly shit on because she is a character who is not only born of a race that is considered inferior from all of the other alien races, but she was also scientifically experimented on and considered a freak, and one that is considered a monstrous freak. So nobody fucking likes her. Nobody wants her around. She is constantly blamed for a lot of the things that she does,
Espionage,
whether or not good or bad.
Marionette from Miraculous Ladybug never faces the consequences of her actions. Instead, she's treated like she's the best hero ever when she's not.
Oh yeah, and people hate her. I hate her.
But have you considered that I never knew my father? And then also, Titan Executor says, so is Korra that bad? I still have not seen it. Look, season 1 is really uneven.
Yeah.
Season 2 is awful. Season 3 is charismatic. And season 4 is a fine enough roundup. It's not all really across the board. It's not very good, but it has a lot of cool ideas in there, and the executions are really.
I also Sai says I feel like they could never pin down Korra's personality. I think the opposite problem is true. I think they do a thing where they make where that some people do when they make intentionally, conventionally unlikable characters, but they lay it on way too thick, right? So it makes the audience less inclined to be engaged by them. You really need to have that fine line, or your audience is not going to give a shit.
Yeah, I would agree.
Mm-hmm.
For the world ending is like blaming the 100-Year War on Roku. He did stop the war, and then Sozin killed him for it. This is literally the answer to when the world need. Blaming Korra for this is about as nonsensical as blaming Aang for almost ending the Avatar cycle completely, or locking himself off from the Avatar state because he couldn't let go of Katara. Hell, blaming Korra for the world ending is like blaming the 100-Year War on Roku. He did stop the war, and then Sozin killed him for it. This is literally the answer to when the world needed him most, he vanished from the start of the series.
No. Okay,
What?
It's been a while since I have actually watched the Roku episode of the original series.
Yeah, it was kind of his fault
was that
because he chose not to kill him.
Yeah, he chose the softer choice with Sozin, and that ended up costing him not only his life, but also just kept the war. Like, he could have. And what do you mean he ultimately stopped the war? He didn't.
He
never
didn't.
happened. It clearly didn't happen.
It's 100-year war.
That's literally why the Avatar show exists, because he didn't stop it. Lily,
have you rewatched this show? You hate so much. Like, she swears up and down, left and right and center, that Avatar is like patient zero for how bad animation is nowadays because everything is trying to ape Avatar, right? But she doesn't even remember a single fucking thing.
Okay, so
I want to say, because
I
want to say that, like, in the Sozin's Comet finale, that, like, when Aang, again, it's been forever since I watched it, but I want to say that when Aang was communing with his past lives, one of the things that I wrote, again, don't quote me on this, I could be misremembering, but I vaguely remember that he mentioned that he regretted not ending Sozin's life to prevent all this stuff from happening in the first life. Like, they do not ignore that as a mistake that he made. Like, that's part of the scene.
The dead person has reflected on his failings and found his behavior unacceptable and wishes he could change it.
Which
Yeah,
is
to the
also
point-
simultaneously used in a really creative way to, like, push the inner conflict that Aang is having as to whether or not he should kill the Fire Lord.
Lily, literally a corpse is a better developed character than Korra.
Not even a corpse. The spirit of there is no corpse.
But I
The
want to
corpse
say,
is
like,
on the
someone
ground.
point, Dedarek says, I have seen people blame Roku because he didn't murk his best friend. Well, that's what's beautiful about him is, yes, he is ultimately responsible. I mean, obviously,
Yes.
Sozin is more responsible, but in the idea that he could have stopped Sozin, he is responsible for that. He is and he holds on to that.
Yeah, and the show
And-
doesn't
but-
shy away from saying that,
And
but he reflects on it, so we understand his reasons.
And the show
Korra
doesn't
does
ignore the
incredibly stupid shit for no fucking reason at all.
Well, and the show doesn't ignore the fact that he didn't do it because of a strongly emotional reason, a very understandable one. Just because he made a mistake in his role as the Avatar, it asks us the question, did he make a mistake as the friend of Sozin? And ask us, basically put us in his shoes and make us understand why he would be so reluctant to make the killing blow. It makes a lot of sense. And then in retrospect, he's like, well, yeah, I fucking died. I probably should have killed him. I think that it makes sense.
And like, and see, with Korra's decision to open up the freaking spirit portals and getting her ass rocked by Unalaq in such an obvious ass way that the Avatar
don't phrase
state
it like
got
that.
cut off completely. Like, what is the in-character reason for any of that? There's literally none.
Please don't phrase it like that. Lily is watching.
Oh my god.
No, don't lie to us. That Lily doesn't listen to her to her critics.
No. She'll listen to us to copyright claim us.
Oh yeah, 110%.
You think she'll even do that much?
No.
She'll look at like, they're reacting to one of my videos. Just claims it just off
When
of
people
that.
say
I don't even care.
Korra trusted her uncle to be similar, no.
From what I remember of season 2, the problem is that would be a believable mistake. But the fact is from what I remember, Unalaq laid on that he was so evil, so thick that Korra literally had to be so stupid to believe it.
Fuck you, Dedarex. You didn't have to put that in writing.
What do you say? Unalaq giving? No, shut up!
No!
We are moving on. We are moving
We're
on.
moving on.
There was a century-long period of no Avatar, the world went to shit, and a lot of people are angry at the Avatar for not stopping the Fire Nation. And it turned out that what happened was the previous Avatar was killed and the Air Nomads were wiped out and nobody knew. So I think it's safe to...
Okay, counterpoint. If Aang had died along with the Air Nomads, you know what would have happened? A water-bending Avatar would have been born.
Yeah,
So,
basically.
kind of, Aang running away, theoretically speaking, could have fucked up in a number of different ways, because not only did him running away prevent him from taking action to stop the Fire Nation, but him running away also prevented himself from dying, and the next Avatar starting in the cycle, giving another form of hope to people.
Alternatively, or even worse, alternatively, like he could have, because if we're assuming that like he is about like the same body and mental age as like he's the same mental age as he was before and after he was in the iceberg, the fight could have like forced him into the Avatar state, and something possibly could have killed him there, and that's also just that much more reason why
Tara could have been the new Avatar. You know, I don't think it's true, but I like the headcanon that it was Sokka that was supposed to be the new Avatar.
Ooh,
Because people point out that, like, where Aang masters all 4 elements, Sokka ends up mastering all 4 fighting styles of the different nations across his journey.
In fairness, though, that's several generations after. Like, if we
Yeah,
assume that
that's
Aang
where that's the hiccup in the idea.
Yeah.
But
Aang still would've been
I think it's a neat idea that could be played with. But it's
like some universe where Aang never, fell inside the iceberg, ended the 100-Year War, and got really, 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 really old anyways. And
it would have been Cabbage Man. You know what? You're right.
Oh yes,
that man has mastered all forms of cabbage from all 4.
Aang died, would have been some other waterbender, and then
Oh no, guys, we found the origin.
By the way,
we figured it out. Agent Vegem. It's the Cabbage Man.
Oh no! Oh my god!
Agent Vegem. All right, I'm about to drink some wine, guys, because I cannot stand to
Quick,
watch this
gotta
video
say
sober
something
anymore.
wild to make him spit take.
Oh God. Unalock back shots. Okay, there we go.
To say, just by virtue of pattern recognition, that
swallowed
there is
it.
irony.
That's what Kora said too.
This is
What now, Kaiser? What now?
God fucking damn it, dude! I'm gonna stay muted.
All right.
And it turned out that what happened was the previous avatar was killed and the air nomads were wiped out and nobody knew. So I think it's safe to say, just by virtue of pattern recognition, that there's more to the Seven Havens than meets the eye. The avatar simply isn't powerful enough to cause a cataclysmic event. The energy that would require would not only take the avatar state, it would likely rip her body apart to do so. If you want a likely culprit, I would suggest it's probably the spirit laser cannon the size of several submarines that can rip through
This
the
is
very
all assuming. This is all assuming that that's specifically the cause of the cataclysm, and not the fact that there are now 3 portals, not just 2, but
That
3
Kora refuses to close.
3 portals where spirits, of all shapes and sizes and manners, and fucking Ko the Face Stealer can all come into the world.
Let
and,
us not ignore the
God.
fact of the horrible, painful deaths, or worse, that were experienced by everyone that we saw during what's his face this time? Juan.
Oh yeah,
time,
the one.
yeah.
Yeah, during the beginnings. Yeah, the fucking plant life alone. He could not sleep for an entire night because everything that he encountered every second
everything
he was out
wanted to
there
kill him.
was out to kill him. And that's when he had fire bending.
It's
Oh,
like,
I'm sorry, it's not bending technically because he hadn't learned the dance of the dragon yet.
I'm sorry. It's not my fault that someone opened up a fucking portal and the flood came pouring through from Halo. I'm sorry. I'm not to blame. It's the flood's fault that all this shit happened. That everyone's become a parasitic zombie.
dude,
No,
and again-
it's my fault for opening the fucking door.
Yeah.
And again, all of this would be fine if A, this was in character for Kora to do, and B, if she gotten, like, again, properly reprimanded for in a way that isn't, like, backhanded and try to soften her up. But that's not what the show does. There's no reason for Kora to leave the portals open. The story had to make up that, like, oh, we gotta bring them together and because we want everybody to be more spiritual. But Kora doesn't do anything else in relation towards that goal for the rest of the show.
People are raising the point that Kyoshi fucking parted a continent. Like she broke off an entire island from the mainland and shoved it out into deep sea. We are ignoring that in the Avatar state, Aang wiped out a fleet of like 50 fucking heavily armored ships.
He became a kaiju.
Yeah. Granted, that was with a spirit's help, but still, that is something that the Avatar
I'm
is
sorry,
capable
Kaiser.
of.
It's not that there's a shortage of spirits anywhere at any time soon. Right now.
Yeah.
I really do think that Lily is selling the Avatar state short in order to try and make her point.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. She's underplaying exactly what can be done. Because easily the Avatar, admittedly, might take a little more time, but has the destructive capability of this laser and then some.
Yeah.
Fabric of reality and form an entirely new spirit portal. You know, if something's gonna cause the Avatar equivalent of rapid onset climate change, it was probably that, you fucking moron.
What about the other 2 portals?
Yeah, she's just gonna ignore that, I guess.
Ow! Hit my hand.
Lily, you see what you've done? Have you done? See, Lily?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull Lily and blame her for this.
Yeah.
Adrian Parchment says, "Do you read the CDC Avatar fan fiction for context?" No, Twy and Kaiser.
Me
have.
and Twy did.
Yeah.
Me and Twy did.
Meanwhile, we read on Bad Fanfiction Night. If you want to check it out, it is here on the channel. We read the first third of her sequel trilogy fan fiction for Star Wars.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's
her
really bad.
Rewrite. Yeah.
She
It's so
somehow made the sequel trilogy worse.
Yeah. Somehow the sequel trilogy returned.
Somehow, goddamn it, you stole my joke.
Like the story of the show, opening portals was good. Medicine? medicine, somehow like helping people with their, honestly, medical would probably be the biggest thing, because curing unusual diseases, or having the spirits help enlighten people into their own spiritual awareness.
Like there has to be like a route for her development during that season where she can see the potential positive benefits of humanity and the spirits like coexisting in one plane instead of being separate. But that never really happens in most of that season, other than when she's in a specific spot in the spirit world where Uncle Iroh is there.
Yeah,
I don't
literally,
even know-
Uncle
was that even
Iroh
the
is the
same-
only good thing she encountered in the spirit world.
Was that
Yeah.
even in season 2?
Oh no, that was in
Season 3.
You know,
Oh, that doesn't count.
Oh yeah, fuck, that doesn't count.
Iroh helped. Yeah, Iroh encountered. No, actually, no. I think she might have found Iroh in book 2.
Chat,
God,
fact check us. Fact check us.
Shoot, I just
Sai says I kind of hate the doubling down on the spirits. Honestly, the spirits were a mistake.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I do think that there is a route that can be done with an avatar mostly dealing with spirits, kind of like what
It
they
was
did
before.
with but
Correct,
like they didn't have to bring them into the actual show in the way that they did.
I loved how they
Yeah.
handled them in the original, where they are just literally these
bye.
uncomprehensible beings.
Hey Bye was
Yeah.
such a great design. Like the
Yeah.
fact, like especially in his angry form, where like he is this giant, like muscular lizardy kind of like thing, but still has like the same
BRB.
color scheme as a panda. And then like when he transforms into a panda, it like clicks in a way. And
Yeah.
then meanwhile in Legend of Korra, you have like angry spirits that just turn they just turn dark. They don't like change and morph into this like, huge, almost violent kind of distorted version of themselves like Hey Bye did. It's just they're purple now.
Yeah, they become like Cloverfield monster knockoff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Look, it's a good knockoff. But yeah, I did not like how they handled spirits in Korra, and it's probably the biggest flaw in the entire series, and that's saying something.
Mhm. Yeah,
Hell, the
okay.
fact-
I just wanted to confirm real quick. Yeah, the book 2 was when Korra ran into
Okay.
Iroh in the spirit world. Episode 8.
Purple
I believe.
Bad. I learned that
Episode 10.
from Kingdom Hearts. Sometimes. Actually, no, I learned it more from Jack and Daxter. Anyway.
Very fabric of reality and form an entirely new spirit portal. You know, if something's gonna cause the Avatar equivalent of rapid onset climate change, it was probably that, you fucking moron. Hell, the fact that you can
spirits.
harness spirit vines into energy and weaponry means someone was likely doing that. Korra's time was a period of
And who is responsible for
about to
the
ask.
mines?
I was about to say that.
Shall we go down the fucking list? Shall we talk about the start of season 3?
I'm like, Lily, why are you were the one who is like most known for like shitting on Korra. You are one of like the quintessential like biggest Korra haters, or like people that are known for hating Korra. Why are you defending her?
Yeah, that's really weird.
It's a pivot. It's a
We're
pivot
gonna-
because she needs to make content.
We're
Yeah.
in a Bizarro universe.
The wrong
apparently.
people
Yeah, I mean,
are having the right opinion, so it must be the wrong opinion now.
I mean, yeah.
political instability, settler colonialism, regicide, revolutionary wars, fascism, political backstabbing, massive weapons created to lay waste to the very land. Last time we saw the Earth Kingdom, it was trying to transition to a democracy and failed horribly at doing so. Leadership passing to some of the dumbest motherfuckers on the planet, and capitalistic billionaires causing destruction and war to enrich themselves. Any of these things could have caused a global cataclysm, and it was probably the capitalism, because that's what's responsible for the global
cataclysm in real life. This
You know what else?
Fucking god, dude.
Are we
know
going to just
what
ignore? Okay, first of all, Kaiser. Second of all, are we going to ignore that the first antagonists of season 1 were communists, effectively? We're just going to ignore that. Like, one thing that I appreciate about the ambition of Korra is that the 4 main antagonists represent the 4 political corners.
Yeah.
Where it's like you have radical communist, radical theocrat,
yeah,
radical theocrat, radical anarchist, and then radical fascist. Like it hits all 4 corners, and I think that's kind of a neat idea to kind of cycle through looking at the pros and cons of all the different major political ideologies. They didn't do that for the record, but the concept is cool.
And again, like she lists off all these things. No mentions of the alien monsters that are pouring through 3 separate portals on the planet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, like literally, like as the chick who also is known for criticizing Kora, you're completely missing the big freaking 3 holes. The 3 holes in the room. Like what in the fuck?
I'll give you a hint. The 3 holes. That's a reference. If anyone can guess where that's from, anyone. Sky Such says, I thought she just hated the show, but liked the character of Kora. Possibly, I don't know.
Well, I know
We're not
she
gonna
said
watch
we're not
gonna watch her review in order to figure that out.
Oh, right.
The 3 hole problem. Okay, shut up.
Capitalism, I'm smart, clap. Like, dude, you're just trying way too hard to insert that into this fucking thing. Especially when you're just trying... This is so in service of trying to remove any responsibility from Kora. Kuvira would not have had the spirit vines to use as a source of energy if Kora did not leave the portals open.
No, it's worse than that. It's not even in service of, it's in service of grifting. The popular opinion right now is that Kora sucks, and so Lily has to pivot
she
in
has
order
to be a contrarian.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cataclysm in real life. The Seven Havens were almost certainly created by Kora, or at the very least, the damage was abated and lessened by her in some way. She probably
Citation needed.
I know. Okay, the second half of that I understand because I'm fully convinced that Kora really wasn't responsible for ending the world. She's
they
going
would
to be
not
proven
go
to
that
be
route.
like, I tried to stop it and everyone thought I was the villain. Oh, woe is me. Because that's the biggest fuck you to the fan base they could have. For
Yeah,
Kora.
Bryke is way too bitch made to actually commit to that.
ecological collapse regardless of the cause, and all the Avatar can do is mitigate the damage. I promise you, it will turn out that something, be it the Havens or some technology the Havens use, was created by Kora and could have very likely resulted in her death. But
yes, Kora, renowned engineer.
Lily, it says the public view the Avatar as humanity's destroyer. So? It says seen as. It doesn't say is. I don't know if any of you have noticed, but the general public in the world of Avatar is really fucking stupid. It looks like China, but it acts like America most of the time. The average person...
No, that's a problem on Legend of Korra's part.
Yeah, that show fucking specifically. Okay, to be completely fair.
Like, wasn't the city that Kora mostly takes place in based off of, like,
1920s
San Francisco?
New York. Or, yeah,
No,
right,
New York.
actually, like New York and San Francisco kind of like thrown together, yeah.
Yeah. It's like San Francisco, but stupider.
Either an asshole, an idiot, or both. Even in Legend of Korra, her biggest hurdle is the fact that she can't get anything done because brainless morons just keep getting in the way and blaming her for things she has no control over.
And then when she does the things that she's going to do anyway, it turns out to be catastrophic for the actual good guys trying to solve the problem.
You know what?
Imagine that!
She has a point, though. She didn't have any control over opening the spirit portals. That wasn't her. She didn't do that. That was
But some people are saying that it's
Kong,
based
Singapore.
off of 1920s Hong Kong and Singapore. So
No, that's aesthetically it is, but structurally it's based off of New York slammed together with San Francisco. Like
yeah, because Americans can't do anything without a little bit of America thrown in there.
I think it would have been better if they just made it like a mix of the three main nations and make it this big city that's run on bending, because that would have been a cool setting for it.
really neat. Can you? Oh my god! Can you imagine have a bunch of hipsters that make like the airbending district?
Well, the reason why I say that is
That'd be
because
really
like the
fun.
whole season is about like non-benders who are being oppressed by benders. Like, wouldn't that just make? Doesn't the fact that like so much of it is ran by technology that can be used by non-benders kind of go against that? And wouldn't the oppression of non-benders be emphasized that much more by a city that is basically run almost exclusively by benders?
Yeah, I was gonna say like the
Yes.
idea of like a car invention should have been like the massive thing happening in the story. Cars shouldn't
Yeah,
have been
you can
around
have an
initially.
entire plot about
Cars should have
benders
been-
trying to like prevent that.
Yeah.
Like, and the idea is like they're driving cars on like these roads that are constructed for like earthbenders, or like fast lanes that are developed for firebenders to like rocket themselves around safely, or like, I don't know, waterbenders using slides and stuff. Like, they're using vehicles and shit in places that they're not allowed to because they're not benders. And that,
and then they're getting into
conflict.
fights, and people are like, wrecking the cars and stuff, and then you have like resentment growing between.
I still want an Avatar series where the main character is, in fact, not the Avatar, but not even a bender. I want like a Ty Lee type, and someone might have to learn it, but like a Sokka or a Ty Lee type to be the main character in this world of fantastic characters. I think that'd be way more interesting, because that's such a challenge. You have all these superpowers running around, and you're the one guy that, I have a stick. Great.
I have a gun.
Hot take. I think Mako, at least in the context of season 1, like nothing else, knowing what happens after, at least in the context of season 1, I think Mako would have been a lot better as a character, and you could do a lot more with him if he was a non-bender.
Yeah.
For real.
Izanagi says, Lily really feels like she subscribes to the idea of the public and normal people are dumb, and we need the great people to lead. At least it feels like that. God, this feels uncomfortable. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Absolutely. And you know who she considers the great people.
Oh yeah, her freaking
up there on
Discord
the throne is her and Movie Bob.
Yeah, and all of her Discord kittens are bowing before them.
And to be fair, she's only up there on the throne with him because the gravitational orbit he produces kind of stuck her there.
God damn!
All right, sorry, just had to take a crack at Bob. Anyway.
Half the villains in both The Last Airbender and Korra have manipulated the gullible public into going along with something completely terrible. And one of the villains is just straight up, we should plunge the world into chaos for the true freedoms, and creates a power vacuum for a dictator. Goodness, Zahir, who could have seen that coming, aside from any passing 6-year-old? Given that it's only a decade after Korra's death,
that's not fair to Zahir. He gets taken down when almost certainly the minute that Kuvira started to rise to power, he would have been out there trying to kill her.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Exactly.
Like he would have taken his anarchist, literally his anarchist dream stopped because he was stopped. But if he had kept out there, and eventually someone does stop Kuvira of their own free will, like that has to be pointed out. Like it's a very complicated discussion, the nature of anarchy and the idea of a stateless society. It's a very complicated thing. Yeah. And like the show only gets one of the fallings. It doesn't really get to look into any of these ideologies very deeply.
Right. And then there's like people like the freaking Dai Li manipulating everybody behind the scenes. Okay, that doesn't really prove that the public are stupid. That just proves they are in a semi-totalitarian regime where they get silenced if they speak out against anything. Like, how the fuck is that their fault?
No, but the thing is, I'm not denying that it is Zahir's fault that Kuvira rose to power. It's just...
Oh, no, I'm talking about the Dai Li and shit.
But all the same, like, that has consequences. Like, I'm not denying that. I'm just saying that, like, in his worldview, there would have been a present free force that would have been able to balance it, but it was taken off the playing field.
Yeah, like Lily hates Zahir because he's an anarchist, not because he was not written well. And she's completely ignoring the fact that it doesn't matter what ideology a character has as long as it's believable that they would have it.
Yes. And the thing is, he also acknowledged, oh my god, I can't believe, Zahir acknowledges he fucked up. Like, I'm pretty sure he acknowledges, I'm responsible for Kuvira rising because I kind of killed the Earth Queen. I'm pretty sure he acknowledges that. Am I wrong on remembering that?
I know that she went to visit. Yeah, I mean, I don't quite remember.
Kora visits Zahir. But I
think I've only seen it before once.
Yeah.
Quite remember.
Lily once said that she wanted the Earth Queen to be a villain, and they had to put Kuvira in a mech to fight the good guys because people would agree with her otherwise.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Ooh,
yeah. She says that Kuvira being seen as the bad guy is bad because they're trying to make her into like a big bad villain that doesn't, so that all the things basically that the main characters do wrong or that Republic City does wrong or whatever does not get addressed. When that is absolutely not the case as far as I remember anyway.
Kyoshi took fault for the Dai Li falling into corruption. Yep.
Yeah.
of the Havens probably isn't the best and brightest of the world. The 7 Havens almost line up completely with the 6 nations, so at least one of those...
What the fuck is Euron?
The fuck? Yeah, I was about to say.
What do you mean? It lines up almost completely with the 6. What the fuck are you talking? Oh, the United Republic, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's some weird caveats here. Fire Nation, sure. Earth Kingdom, I guess. Air Nomads, are there enough of them at this point?
I mean, there probably would be, just given, you know, the amount of people that came out like after the harmonic convergence shit.
Also, it's stated that the Northern Water Tribe and the Southern Water Tribe are one tribe.
Yeah,
they're
one
just
tribe.
on 2 different sides of the planet. And the only reason why they were separated was specifically because of the war that took place prior to the first season of the show. Like, you're getting this wrong, Lily. This is very, very basic shit.
I'd be honest, Tano would have been better on Team Korra than Mako. Imagine him losing his bending. He joins the team and fights Amon as a non-bender. Who the fuck is Tano?
I don't remember.
Is that the asshole?
Ahsoka Tano in this series? I don't remember. It's been a while since I've seen Legend of Korra.
I think it might be that asshole from the pro
yeah,
bending.
he's from the pro bending.
Right, I was gonna say.
The guy who is making fun of her, calling her Avatar.
Right.
And then he goes on to play the trumpet in like one of the later books. He's like a background character.
Right,
he's
the rival in the first season. I think I don't know if he should have joined. I knew he was from season 1. I recognized the name from season 1, but like, I don't know if he should have joined the team, but whether or not he would have been an ally and like actually present, that would be interesting. 'Cause I remember I saw the image of him after he lost his bending and how destroyed he was. It would have been a nice turning point if he became like a leader of a faction or part of a faction in the setting. Like maybe he became like a not evil equalist type.
It didn't take me very long to find ship art of those 2.
Yeah, no, I saw it in the summer. People hyping that up. He was a waterbender, right? Yeah, he was.
is going to be made up of the witless wonders that populated the United Republic. Fuck, there it is.
Don't you dare put Igor in your fucking video. That man, his ever-present fucking Schrodinger's hump, does not deserve your disrespect.
Dog. Raymond's all like, you keep his goddamn name out your fucking
I love
mouth.
Young Frankenstein, and I'm not... Knowing that Lily is aware of it pisses me off.
Yeah.
Is right there. If anyone caused the apocalypse, it was
Hold on
likely
a
the
sec.
United
I
Republic.
got,
United Republic.
I got,
Huh?
He gotta.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I think it was slow with muting me, and then it unmuted me when I kept clicking it. I'm gonna click it.
Lots of technical difficulties today.
Oh my god! All right, you Kaiser, turn around. We're gonna open up your freaking back panel. We gotta install more RAM. All right.
Completely with the Six Nations, so at least one of those is going to be made up of the witless wonders that populated the United Republic. Fuck, there it is right there. If anyone caused the apocalypse, it was likely the United Republic. A cacistocratic capitalist dystopia where idiots like this get to run roughshod over the entire land, exploiting it in the name of pure profit. Varric alone would have caused 15 Chernobyl disasters before Kora could get a bead on his location. So I think we're all in...
No. What kind of fan
didn't-
fiction are you making?
Didn't
up?
notice when he was
Varric
doing
some
his
kind of
research?
development out of that?
Remember?
Wasn't the whole reason why he helped develop the Spirit Vine tech was because he was being held at gunpoint by Kuvira?
Well, that was
This is a genuine
later,
question
but
I've not
notice
seen.
that he was doing the research. He was doing it on a fucking train that was going into the middle of nowhere for the longest time. You know,
I swear he was
away
being held
from
at
people.
gunpoint at one point. Like I distinctly remember that.
Varric wouldn't have repeated his mistake with the cannon. Yeah, he wouldn't have.
Yeah.
An agreement that blame...
Go watch the Chernobyl miniseries. It's amazing. I have
Yes.
heard
Yes, please do.
Kora for everything out of the gate is just dumb. What concerns me is that despite there being a precedent for the public are stupid, both in Avatar and in real life, people took the Avatar is seen as humanity's destroyer and immediately concluded that Kora did something to fuck up the world. Well,
no, we're
it's
just
not
drawing
hard.
conclusion because, yeah, okay, sure, she's seen as, and she was probably trying to save it, but she did open the spirit gates, and that more than likely is the
Which
cause
was
of all of this.
stupid.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. People want to like meme on that. Like, regardless, like, sure, probably when the show comes out, that it will, most likely establish that she wasn't actually the cause, or she might have only played a small part in it, if any. But like, from our perspective, with how little we know about it and how many people blame her, for that mistake of opening the spirit portals, I don't see how you could blame other people. In fact, if anything, I'm more surprised how you don't understand that, Lily.
Lily weirdly hates
Yeah,
the
it's
United
so
Republican. Well, it's probably because they're Republican. But oh, Dederex, he's check the Discord.
Oh my god! Don't! What the fuck?
Dederex!
No!
It's a spoiler. Why is there a spoiler tag on this?
You
Do I
know
want to know
exactly
what's in
why
this?
there's a spoiler tag on this. Oh god, I'm gonna put. Oh.
I clicked the spoiler.
All right,
tag.
anyone that doesn't want, it's too late. I'm sorry, I put it on screen. You're all cursed now. I'm sorry. I didn't think. My brain is not thinking
cursed.
fast enough. Nice, Mark. Horny jail now.
Sai, why are you still here? Run!
Edovitsky says he thought of using spirit vines as energy sources, but after one small vine exploded, he was against it. Yes, exactly.
Wow, it's
I knew
almost
it!
like
I knew it!
rich people can still be human beings, and just because they are inherently wealthy doesn't mean that they are inhuman monsters, and that something like that is only in cartoons for children of the age of 5.
Dederex, that's not even the freakiest thing I've drawn today. I love Liger J81 says that's his niece. Why? It's like, you have not been paying attention. This man clearly looked up references of both of these characters, and you think he didn't know that by the end.
This is the guy who drew my Avatar.
I've heard of water sports, but this is ridiculous. Shut up!
I'm obligated by my contract to tell this is the guy who made my Avatar. Go follow him. I don't know why you should go follow him, but I have to tell you to do it.
Get it off
this like one
screen,
of the-
Phoenix. I'm glad you finished that sentence because it could have been worse.
Is this like the dirtiest stream that we've had so far? It's really up
It
there.
might be.
Well, it's Lily Orchard, so
Oh my god!
it's a possibility.
Who
fucking
made
done.
Kaiser's very
Who-
good, amazing Avatar? I wonder. I can see the fingers poking each other's side.
Yeah.
Dog.
In the words of Hermes Comrade,
made
that raises further questions.
I am the only one who made my own avatar.
That is true.
So you're the last airbender. Okay.
Yes.
Although
You're the last art bender.
In my defense, I made the head of my avatar.
I also completely reanimated my avatar from a static image, so I take a little bit of time. That required all like retracing a lot too. So I mean, we shall have an art bending battle. I'm sorry, Dederex is already in the lead there.
Yeah,
He's got the bending part of it down.
Yeah, y'all can. You and Twy can argue over Canadian animation.
Movie Bob is the
No.
last chairbender.
Don't get me started.
Dederex, can I commission you for more? Kai, you're going to horny jail too.
What the fuck? No! Get out.
Well, it doesn't concern me. I know exactly where it comes from. Kora is the subject of hyper-Watsonian critique, where almost every single plot event in Legend of Korra is solely blamed on her, even if she is nowhere near it, or if the culprit is very obviously someone else. I'll point it out again, Kora...
One moment. Critique. What
what's
the
happening?
fuck is Watsonian critique?
Watsonian and Holmesian critique is the difference between whether or not you are critiquing something from a meta perspective or within the world itself. So Watsonian means that you are
okay.
critiquing things from within the world's logic, and you're not looking at it from a writer's perspective or anything outside of the world of the book itself.
Okay, so it's basically
but,
anti-death of no, it is death of the author. That's what Watsonian is effectively.
No. It is you are critiquing the events of the book purely within the bounds of the book itself. When you are doing a Holmesian or Doylian critique of it, you are thinking from like an outsider's perspective of, oh, the reason why this plot happened is because of these outside events that are happening in the real world. But as a Watsonian critique, it is these events are happening in the book because this character did this.
Okay, all right. Yeah, no, I think I got a grasp on it now.
I'm gonna have another drink.
I've heard those terms thrown around occasionally. I've never thought
I keep mixing up like Watsonian, Holmesian, Doylist, but yeah, they're it's been a thing that has been going around in a lot of book spaces, particularly because I was friends with someone who is in the Holmesian community, so I heard it quite a lot. But
okay,
it is.
What is the Moriarty perspective on things? It turns out I'm secretly oh yes, I am secretly the hero, and no one else can see it. No.
Yeah. But yeah. The point is that it's like, are you critiquing only within the realm of the logic of the book itself, or are you using external real world factors to insert into the book?
You know, we should have had Sai on now that I think about it. Why didn't we?
I mean, she usually does her own streams. I'm not sure if she would have been.
We could have her on.
Is Sai in the server?
No, but if she wants to come into the server, she can.
Yeah.
Nah, I just got doing my stream. I'm tapped out. Okay. Well, at some point we should have you on. It'd be fun to have you.
Nah, fair.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I guess I should be glad that I had her on my stream first. Kaiser versus the world, and I have a highlights video of that stream that you can check out on my channel.
Yeah, wait a minute. Yeah,
if you want, you can also check him on the New Types podcast, which is the best femboy podcast this side of Mississippi.
That is not what the podcast is about.
I love that fucking video. It caught me so off guard.
Kora is often called a terrible
Yeah,
avatar because she lost her connection to her past lives, but she lost it because Rava was ripped out of her and destroyed. Ultimately, Kora is considered to be at fault for being the victim of violence, which is just really fucked up. And this was only able to happen because this was the first time in 10,000 years that anybody knew that Rava existed. I don't understand how you can have that attitude towards a character that they're at fault for the violence inflicted on them.
If you follow the line of logic, whose fault is it at the beginning? She opened the fucking portals!
Yeah, like,
none of that happens without that.
Yeah, we keep saying this over and over and over again. This is just proof that either Lily is lying, which is what I think, by the way. She is willing to do that. Or she is just so stupid that she doesn't think outside of her own bubble. Like, there are so many goddamn videos and critiques and shit about Kora's character and how she could be at fault that you could absolutely watch that said the exact same shit that we did verbatim. That has nothing to do with just blaming her because she's abused. Like, cut the freaking psychological language when it comes to this shit. This isn't a victim blaming session, dog.
What Lily is effectively doing is saying that someone has cancer because they were smoking cigarettes, but it's not their fault that they got cancer because they were smoking cigarettes. It's the company who makes the cigarettes that are at fault, even though that the person chose of their own free will to start smoking cigarettes. It's still not their fault that they got cancer.
Yeah, be clear.
Is that how you feel? Well, I have a whole carton of cigarettes.
Also, this is Lily completely ignoring that multiple people can be responsible for the actions and consequences that therein followed said actions from multiple different perspectives. Unalaq
everyone
is in
sucks.
fact responsible for
Problem
almost
solved.
all of these things. Korra is also almost all responsible for all of these things in different
Yeah.
regards and shades, but that does not remove just because two people are responsible in different ways doesn't mean that the other isn't responsible.
Yeah, like you can say that like Kora isn't entirely at fault for being tricked by Unalaq to open the portals in the first place. You can say that she is entirely at fault for choosing to leave them open long after Unalaq and Vatu are dealt with.
Yes.
And also choosing to leave the third one open as well.
Yeah. In the middle of a freaking populated metropolitan nation/city.
Yeah.
Dude, this is so fucking crazy.
Korra can literally not stop stepping on rakes and taking L's. Yes.
Yeah.
She is Sideshow Bob.
Maybe that's the reason why they canceled the Korra movie.
Ooh.
Conversely, when Aang was said to be a bad father due to personality failings that were abundantly clear in The Last Airbender, this was considered to be bad writing, because Aang is the perfect goodest little baby boy and can never be wrong. So when he is, people treat that like a mistake and shake their fist at Bryke for ruining his character. When
No.
No,
Oh my
Someone-
god,
someone
no,
guys hate
no,
this.
let
I'm
me
gonna
at
use the
him. Let me at him.
Go
Yeah, this is so fucking stupid. No. It makes absolutely no sense for Aang, based on the information that we have in The Last Airbender, to neglect Kaya and Bumi in the way that is described in the show. Kaya and Bumi basically said that, oh, yeah, Aang took you, Tenzin, out on all these trips. You guys went to Ember Island, but he never did that to us. He never taught us anything about airbending culture, freaking apparently. That is absolutely against his character. He would never do this, given his past.
Forget Aang. Like, this also kind of like falls onto Katara as well, because like Tenzin is what, 57 years old at the time of Korra, meaning that he was maybe like 30 something just before Aang had died. So for about roughly 20 years.
You mean to tell me that almost 20 years, Katara of the motherfucking Water Tribe just lets Aang neglect his two other kids? Katara of the motherfucking Water Tribe.
Yeah, that is exactly what they're saying.
You are Lily. In order for this logic to work, you literally have to look me in the eyes and tell me that fucking Katara of the Water Tribe would let Aang neglect her fucking kids. They're not just Aang's kids, her fucking kids too.
Kaiser, it's obviously you're making a mistake because they're not of the motherfucking Water Tribe. It's the Uncle fucking Water Tribe.
Oh, get out!
No. The uncle fucking is the. You know what? No, I can't even.
Oh my god.
I'm not even.
Were you about to say it was the friends we made along the way?
I think a lot of it was Kaya and Bumi's own bias.
I was gonna say that the uncle fucking Water Tribe was the hillbilly swamp people, but
I don't know where I read this or where I heard it, but I heard that like both Kaya and Bumi had a very skewed perspective of their father, because when they were kids, they apparently had no interest in learning any of that. So like he didn't.
That's a huge problem, though, because there's like an entire conflict in 2 back-to-back episodes of the entire series was how they were upset that they never got to have a relationship with Aang while Tenzin did. And and by the end of the episode, they never there's never a point when they reconcile that maybe their perspective was like skewed in some kind of way. It is we are sorry for taking out our frustrations on Tenzin. They don't apologize that their frustrations are unjustified. They just apologize for taking it out on him. And Tenzin likewise apologizes for thinking so highly of Aang and acknowledges that he may not have been that good in the first place. And the whole point of the conflict is being like, oh yeah, Aang wasn't so good.
Yeah, if they had a bias, that bias never gets addressed or challenged in any meaningful way. Go ahead, Pete.
This is all talking about Aang. We're saying that Aang was completely ignorant of the kind of isolation that he was inadvertently inflicting on two of his children. Aang, the guy whose entire reason for being the last airbender was brought about by the isolation that he felt from his own fellow airbenders. For being different, for being the Avatar, he was isolated from his other friends. That hurt him so much that he felt the need to run away, and basically, led to him becoming the last of his kind. And you're telling me that he doesn't see in any way that same isolation that he's inflicting upon his own two children again for being not airbenders, or at least that's the argument that other people are making, is that the reason why he spent all his time with Tenzin but not with Kaya or Bumi was because he was an airbender, and they weren't.
Yeah.
Oh, they did Toph
that's
dirty.
so freaking.
I don't know if they did Toph dirty. I didn't like what they did with Toph, but I think there's a lot of more debate there on Toph being a absentee parent to some degree, as opposed to Aang being an absentee parent.
Yeah.
I can believe Aang being an absentee parent to all three of the kids, in the sense that he's kind of sort of running Republic City along with the council, so he's probably busy with a lot of shit. That is 10,000% way more believable than Aang neglecting two of his kids in doing favoritism to one of them because of, he can shoot freaking tornadoes out of his ass and the other two can't. And again, Katara letting that happen.
You say shooting tornadoes out of his ass, but that's something that airbenders can do now.
Don't remind me that exists.
Don't remind me.
I hated that so much. How was Sokka as an uncle? The world may never know. You also commented that it sucked that Sokka also died, so young. It's like, you know what? It makes sense. He was just so busy getting all of the bitches. All of them. That man did not sleep for 10 years because every single night he was kept up, all right? Every single night. That man died young, but he died well. And he died that skeleton alien that someone put in a bed.
Actually, you know what? I think my theory is that Sokka died so young because Suki walked in on him and Ty Lee.
Oh god.
Oh. Anyway,
Kora gets bounced across every flat surface in the Earth Kingdom.
Wow.
No comment.
Oh my god! I'm glad I'm a little tipsy for this.
Thank you, Lily. I needed that.
No notes. That was perfect.
No notes.
Woo! Woo! This is Kora being a terrible avatar. Male characters get Doylist critique, female characters get Watsonian critique. Look, a lot of people have been—
No! What the fuck?
Katara, Toph, literally every female character from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
You just gave Aang as an example of someone commenting that it was out of character for him to act that way as a parent. He is a male character getting Watsonian critiqued.
Also, Lily, you're not a fucking professor. Stop using these fucking words. It's not because they're big. It's because it's annoying how you're using them in order to sound fucking smart. You're talking about Avatar: The Last Airbender. Shut
Lily,
the fuck
it's
up.
not because the words are big. It's because your brain is small.
Yes. Yes, you're overcompensating. It's embarrassing.
Can we talk about this?
She
hold on, thank you.
the thing that I'm finding very interesting about this is that she's trying to say that there is an element of sexism here because male characters get a different way of critique from female characters, specifically Kora,
dude.
for no other reason other than the fact that it's their gender that makes the critique different, and not the different contexts that surround the characters. Like maybe a lot of the male characters, specifically the villains, get a lot of Doylist critique because of the things that surround them as their characters, specifically the politics that we mentioned earlier. Whereas Kora herself is not defined necessarily by political leaning for the themes of her character. So why would we go outside of that in order to talk about it? We need to discuss Kora, the main character, in a more Watsonian way, because that is what is the meat of her character.
Isa says the whole Doylist Watsonian thing just feels like Lily trying to be a bread tuber or major video essayist in terms of vocabulary, and it feels so fake. And then Sai replies, she did only start saying it after Anthony Grammagoda used that term.
Remulia. Yeah, the G is silent.
Look, I do actually know how to pronounce it occasionally, but I'm just.
Okay, sorry.
It's part of the gag. We can't.
So she's
Anthony Gabagool. Yes,
Gabagool. Yo, that's my name.
She's being a bit of a tsundere because she hates Anthony so much, and yet she takes so much after him.
She wants to freaking yo, you copy my whole fucking flow, word for word, bar for bar.
She must admire him to some degree in order to start using the terminology
that's why she tries to take him down so much. What's going on with that? Really? What the fuck?
Gets bounced across every flat surface in the Earth Kingdom, this is Kora being a terrible avatar. Male characters get Doylist critique, female characters get Watsonian critique. Look, a lot of people have been dancing around this when they talk about this stuff, but I won't. This is just misogyny. I feel like a lot of people don't get this,
I told
the
you.
ways in which bigotry manifests and tries to hide is in being hypercritical of someone based on what they are. Treating a woman or a person of color or an LGBT person with far more scrutiny and bad faith than they would someone who isn't one of those things. This is exposed on the fact that a lot of people are cranky that the new avatar is a girl and
Who is cranky that the new avatar is a girl?
No one.
Well, we're about to find out.
I've not even seen any
Are
of
we?
that on Twitter.
Yeah, but also no.
Okay.
Well, yes, but actually no.
Yes, but as is all things with Lily, you will find things out, but also not really.
I find the new design cute. She's a fine design. What's the problem with her?
Right. And there are tons of people in the fandom that are fine with just having like a hypothetical OC like female avatar character. Like nobody bats an eye about that.
And I agree that it's cute, but Raymond, have you considered that there are a non-zero number of people in the world that don't like her because she's a girl?
Oh my god! I don't care.
Also, like, why would anyone be upset that the new avatar is a woman when we've seen from the very first time that we saw previous avatars that there have been female avatars from the very beginning?
Yeah,
there have been
people love
hundreds of
Kyoshi.
them.
People love Kyoshi.
I think people love Kyoshi too much.
Because
people like Yang Chen.
Because statistical inevitability dictates that someone somewhere on this big green and blue rock in the middle of buttfuck nowhere space, out of the 7-point-something billion people on the planet, someone thinks whatever stupid thing you believe that no one believes.
That argument can suck my statistics.
Those people aren't relevant. Those people are a non-statistic.
Wow, Lily's here to tell us otherwise.
Oh my god, dude. And also, I really gotta say this here. Shut the fuck up, Lillian. Stop using sociological language and using the plights of people in real life, women, especially colored women, in order to favor your argument about why people don't like a fictional fucking character. I understand that such biases can fucking exist in these conversations, but to say that makes up the most of it, especially without any fucking evidence, just go fuck yourself. Like, you're absolutely being a fucking bitch right now. And you're dragging things into a much more serious area that has nothing to do with real life. It's really fucking stupid.
Mr. Knight says, y'all forgetting the strongest female character in Avatar, the one lady guard on the boiling rock. You can't date the lady guards, by the way. I mean, you can't because they're fictional characters, but...
One guy on Twitter said women bad. Okay, who the fuck cares, Lily? Yeah,
Yeah.
for real.
Well, but apparently Lily does.
Well,
Yeah.
Lily, you said men bad. So where do we go from here?
For real.
We know your name.
On the fact that a lot of people are cranky that the new Avatar is a girl instead of a guy, and some people are even saying, this is Korra 2.0. They're already priming themselves to react extremely poorly, which means they
Oh wow,
will, no
she's
matter how...
actually kind of putting evidence out there.
Yeah, you would
Okay.
you would think that, Twi. In fact, that's very generous of you to say until you actually look up these tweets themselves.
Yeah, I know, but it's like it's more than what she has done in the past, which is just to have a
True.
random image or still shot or video up while she makes these points instead of like
Yeah.
actually showing tweets.
This one isn't even.
So-
This one isn't even bad. It's just like I'm not against it
No.
being a female, but it's okay to swap back and forth. It's like
Yeah.
I mean,
It-
it is
like,
a little.
okay.
It kind of has a bit of a condescension tone to it. I'm not going to deny that, but I don't know. It's kind of innocuous otherwise.
Yeah.
Well, like this person is being silly by the very nature of the fact that the avatar doesn't have to be 50-50 split male and female. It can be that it doesn't have to be that there's like a male avatar, then a female avatar, then a male avatar, then a female avatar, and etc. It can go that you can have like 5 guys in a row before you get a female, and then
5
like
guys.
5 guys in a row before you get before a female.
Yeah.
Twi, I never knew you were into such things.
Well, you know, we're going to rule 34
You know what?
anyway.
You were asking if this is the dirtiest stream that we've had, and I
Yes.
didn't know it definitely is now. So I looked up all 4 of the tweets that she's featuring here, which, I mean, first of all, she already picked out ones that like really
Have
didn't get a whole
barely
lot of
any
attention.
likes.
Yeah, so like the biggest one, I don't know if they showed it yet. I wasn't looking when you were playing it.
I
the one
did
that said,
walk into
"She,
that side.
again,
I did.
this is just going to
Yeah.
be for round 2," which, you know, had the most likes out of all of them. All of these, however, were replies to a discussing film tweet, which got like 14 million views. So like even for the one that got like this one that got like 56 likes or whatever is kind of like a drop in the pond compared to a lot of the other, because when you're engaging with a tweet that has a lot of engagement, you by extension are also going to get a lot of engagement. But if you're not getting a lot of engagement comparatively, like, yeah, you can get 56 likes on this comparatively, like the top 20 of the replies right now have like in the hundreds or the thousands.
Yeah.
So she chose a bunch of like replies that have next to no likes.
Cherry picked shit.
And even the very few people that are replying to that same discussing film tweet that are giving a similar kind of like semi-misogynistic kind of reply are having they're getting their ass beat in the quote tweets, in the replies. There's like this is very obviously a minority of, you know, the opinion surrounding Avatar. If you did like any level of research, like if you just went to the tweet that all of these are replying to, you can see for yourself, no one really gives a shit about this perspective. Nobody really cares that the next Avatar is female.
God, the
Yeah,
fucking,
like,
the fucking
holy
chat
shit.
is nightmare.
Like,
I'm so scared.
Brownie points for giving some evidence at least.
Yeah, but now you're picking a bunch of people that don't fucking quantifiably do not matter.
No.
Yeah. The memes, Kaiser. The memes. Wind
I only
blows, rain falls, and the strong prey upon the weak.
I only
Shut up.
just finished
Shut the
playing
fuck
Legend
up.
of
I don't want to focus
I'm
on
scared
that right
too,
now.
but I can't change anything at this point. It's gone too far.
Leon, also, yeah, when I thought of Five Guys, that was the restaurant was what I immediately thought as well.
Oh my god. Moving on.
How good it is.
Why is it 2 girls back to back?
Probably because before
Literally
then
no
it was
likes
2
on that.
boys back to back. That's why. Previous cycle was male, female, male, female. This cycle is male, male, female, female. They're both patterns and they both make sense. I've actually had this theory for a while that every cycle of 4 avatars has equal gender parity in some way. But the problem is that's treating that question like it has any merit. The new avatar is a girl because she just is. Now get the fuck over it. This is what reveals the bitch fit for what it is. The same misogyny that was going around last time. When the leaks first happened,
Who did that?
Wasn't me.
Kaiser, are you trying to say something? You're muted.
Yeah, sorry. The Discord is slow again. Can y'all? Okay, Discord is slow again. Yeah, like, okay, bitch, it's just one Twitter comment just asking a question. Like, they're not even making a whole bitch fit about it. It's like, it's not, oh, get the fuck over it. He's just asking a small fucking question. Why don't you get over that comment, bitch?
Who is asking a question. He doesn't even say that he hates it. He's just asking, like, why? And then the answer should just be an equally very calm, just because. And then that's it.
Yeah, but you decided to be a bitch about it, and you got so bothered by this small freaking comment instead of looking for a bigger comment saying the same thing. So what does that say about you?
The other three
Sai
really
says,
weren't that much
Lily
better.
acting like she didn't make Kora's garbage, and here's why. I'm pretty sure we mentioned that earlier.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
True, but she would probably say, oh, I'm not like those guys, though.
One of those 5 guys.
Shut the fuck up. Dude, she wishes she would be one of those 5 guys on Kora.
Jesus Christ! Oh God!
Dude, is that out of place? Is that out of
I don't
character?
know if I'm being completely honest.
No, considering Lily's history of sexually harassing people and being like super hyper horny, no, it's not.
I'm fucking hungry for a burger now.
Oh, so you're not just saying that she wants to fuck her. You're saying that this would be a G.
This is just the dirtiest stream. It's because you're here, Sai. We did it just for you.
and you know, so what do you think is going to happen? What kind of stream do you think you will create when you invite her up? This is just like she's in the chat. Imagine when she's actually a guest.
Ed Savinsky says, like I said in Sai's stream, she looks more like a flower child instead of earthbending child in that draft. That's fine. And in fact, the closer look at this as opposed to the other art, this looks much more along the lines of what I would imagine from a post-apocalyptic outfit.
Yeah.
Roughly.
She looks like she'd be a Gundam character. Which Gundam? Because the most recent Gundam looks like Pokemon characters. Because I'm a Pokemon artist.
I was about to say, like, the closest thing I would probably say she would be, this design would fit, is in Gundam Age and I guess Iron-Blooded Orphans, maybe.
Yeah, she might just be an orphan. Who knows?
Yeah.
Fanfiction did not hesitate to show its disgust towards a dark-skinned girl being the new Avatar. Oh, so like everyone who dislikes Kora.
Was that an editing
was going
mistake?
around last time. When
Did
the
you
leaks
just pop
first
in?
happened, the fan base did not hesitate to show its disgust towards a dark-skinned girl being the new Avatar. Oh, so like
Yeah. I mean, okay, I'm not actually gonna bash on you for this. It's just funny because I've done that too. All right, that's fair.
But you
Okay, but like when has the dark skin element been a factor for these particular people? Like have they been bitching in the exact same tweet that the character is dark skin and the character is female?
Yeah, these same people who dislike dark-skinned characters seem to have been suspiciously absent for pretty much the entirety of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yeah, weird. I wonder how that
Very,
works.
very weird.
everyone who dislikes Kora is a misogynist and a racist. That's what you're saying, Lily? Oh, well, not at all, Pixie. We can't forget Hanlon's razor. Stupidity is also an option. There just is...
Does that include you?
Wait, yeah, what
Yeah, for real.
Are you fucking stupid too?
Holy, I mean, we knew that
guys,
from the
I
jump.
was gonna
so
say,
thanks
Guys,
for
she's
saving
finally
the
past
trouble.
denial! Guys, she's finally past denial. She's mending. This is huge.
Yeah. Holy shit.
Okay, no,
now
is
she's finally taking people, thinking of a different reason for why people can be wrong about a piece of media. Congratulations!
No. You know what I'm saying? She's always said that people could be stupid. No. It's her accepting that she herself could be among them because she herself doesn't like Kora.
There we go.
Yeah. She's not self-reflecting. She doesn't realize it.
isn't an argument for Korra being the worst avatar that holds up to scrutiny, or at least I haven't heard someone make one yet. All Korra is ever really guilty of is being brutalized, and if you want to make an argument for the world's worst avatar, it's actually Kuruk or Roku or Aang who take that title, because all of them allowed severe harm to come as a result of their own inaction or unwillingness to engage in real change.
Spirit portals!
Yeah, we're just gonna.
Holy
yeah,
shit,
what?
Spirit! She unleashed eldritch abominations upon mortal kind with no concept of limitation.
Eldritch abominations, which, by the way, the last time roamed the earth, like, unfiltered, had completely, like, wiped humanity to such small levels they were forced to live on the backs of lion turtles and could not live in nature anywhere, even when equipped with magic.
Also, Aang fixed his mistakes.
Yes, Excalibur says, if you notice, the character Pixie flinches whenever Lily lifts a hand. Lily ain't beating the abuser allegations. Oh, she's beating them, all right.
Kuruk was straight up a lazy bastard.
It was my fault. If I had been more attentive and more active, I could have saved her.
But if you...
No? I mean, okay, in the main show, potentially you could interpret it that way, but from what we know of him, he was like doing war with Ko the Face Stealer? Like, that man was fighting the horrible eldritch abominations that Korra just willingly let loose on the fucking planet.
Yeah, you know.
Kuruk's whole thing is that he's paying way more attention to the spirit world. That's not him being lazy. That's him, like, having his priorities messed up.
Yeah. He's being responsible in the wrong direction.
Yes.
You're going to be on the end of a screaming fit from people who can't handle their precious little baby boy being in the wrong. Korra did not cause the apocalypse. The story is going to elaborate on that. Calm the fuck down.
What a non-issue to, like, discuss, because even if
for real,
and it is going to probably be that Korra didn't cause the apocalypse and whatever, but people are allowed to discuss the possibility of what if.
Yes, they are.
Deaderex!
Oh, what did he do?
Chad!
Oh,
Absolute Chad! This is amazing and exactly what I wanted to see.
Oh my
God! This is the canonical death of Sokka. This is Sokka's canonical death.
Dude took on the warrior, a warrior of Kyoshi, one of the most powerful earthbenders in the world, motherfucking whatever tile he is, and the goddamn moon. You know what? I think most people would be lucky to make it past 2 of those.
Listen, I'm just saying that Sokka may be dry right now, but he is drowning.
He died as he lived, drowning in bitches.
Oh. All right. God, in the undertow.
So, with all that out of the way and hypersensitive men rushing off to natter away in a reaction stream, I'm actually quite enthused about Seven Havens. It seems much of the plot will be centered around figuring out what happened to destroy the world, otherwise they wouldn't be so coy about it. But the fact that the new avatar is supposedly a child means that the dishonest pretensions toward political subtext that killed Legend of Korra probably won't be repeated. It also means a complete clearing of the board. Korra was largely struggling under the weight of the last airbender, and it seems like Avatar Pavi, outside of solving a mystery, is going to get a chance to express her own identity. One issue I've had with Avatar as a franchise is an almost Zelda-like adherence to formula. Team Avatar is the thing I usually point to, as Bryke have expanded on Avatar Roku, Kyoshi, Kuruk, and Yang Chen, and almost all of them are given a Team Avatar consisting of all their teachers.
What? Roku's companions. Gyatso. I guess maybe you're going to clarify that.
She did say
almost all of them.
Yeah.
So, like, but yeah,
that
Lily,
makes sense.
That's how people work. You don't just exist in a vacuum. You have other people that are in your lives, and you're going to have people that you're friends with, that you travel around with. If you're somebody who, like, government people in real life have people that they travel with to other countries to do their politicking.
Fucking hell.
That's how things work.
The president has a cabinet, and the cabinet has a staff. We delegate tasks because we ourselves, even no matter how powerful we are in any capacity, are not able to handle everything. Fucking Steve Jobs did not rip all of Apple out of the ground on his own. He had a team that helped him build it.
Yeah. Yeah, but what she's saying, guys, is that the friends of each of the avatars meet a certain formula or share very, very similar traits with one another, and
Is
that
she?
it is adhering to I believe that's what she's saying. That, like, the whole reason why she's saying is that she's criticizing their strict adherence to formula, which I don't know why that's necessarily a criticism on a slightly unrelated topic. Have you guys seen Phineas and Ferb?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
That has nothing to do with anything. Nothing to do with the topic
not.
about like whether or not formulas are good or bad to adhere to. Just wanted to ask you guys if you had seen Phineas and Ferb. Anyways, back to Legend of Korra.
A periodic table? Peter the periodic table?
But yeah, dude.
put on a tie.
Okay, yeah, it makes sense that the most powerful being on the planet would probably want some allies on their side, and having a formula is kind of, helpful when you're making a multi-installment story that people enjoy.
Besides commenting, Lily just wants an avatar to only have her weirdly close sister like in her fan fiction. And I am feeling like that's actually, that's not just a joke. I think that's true.
Yeah, I do think that that's true. Yeah. Especially because she was so adamant about talking about how it's so weird and coincidental because she is the only person in the world, apparently, who has had female characters be the avatar, or at least one character who is female who is the avatar who has a sister. Because that is a concept that only she can come up with. It is unique to her, apparently.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah, no one else ever came up with that.
Never mind that if the two people in that one image are the two sisters that we're talking about, that one of them is like 8 years old and the other is like 25.
Yeah.
I think the freaking synopsis that we read earlier said they're supposed to be twin sisters, so the other person that's there probably isn't one of them.
Oh.
Right, okay. But like, I don't know, because I don't pay attention to this shit. I just want to enjoy the show when it comes out. I'm not one of those people anymore who like laps up each and every single little tidbit of information, no matter how tiny it is.
Yeah, you're not a consumer.
No, I'm not.
Team Avatar is the thing I usually point to as Break have expanded on Avatar Roku, Kyoshi, Kurik, and Yang Chen, and almost all of them are given a Team Avatar consisting of all their teachers, a token non-bender, and at least 2 animal companions. That adherence to formula gets old after a while. Problem is, fandom takes...
You can have that. Those are not character traits, by the way. You can have those. You can have vastly different like character combinations and different kinds of dynamics. So like what? Yes. Because you have 4 teachers. What did you say? A token non-bender and 2 animals. Like that still leaves a lot of room for creativity.
Yeah, like say, what if the non-bender is a politician as opposed to like a strategist? What if the 3 teachers, one of the 3 teachers is a coward in combat and they have to overcome their cowardice? What if another one of the teachers is somebody who struggles with, what was it? I don't know, some other kind of thing. Like there's so many.
What if one of the animal companions was a dark demonic spirit that constantly wanted to create chaos and war and had to constantly be kept in check, but the entire time was making rude, very, very angry comments that made everyone else laugh at your sake.
That is a very,
very specific
example.
character from Wakfu. Rubelax is kind of fucking awesome.
I don't entirely disagree that like adhering to like a very specific like team every single series that you make can like become stale after a while because you might be repeating the same kind of like story beats. But that's if you have like the same characters. You're not what you described really is not like a character trait. You described like very superficial aspects.
Yeah, like roles.
No,
oh my
because
god.
Here's the thing that Lily seems to be conflating here is character groups, like individual people in a character group of like specifically these 4 characters are this, and then you have 2 animal companions and what the fuck ever. But it's like the personalities and the situations that you put them in is what makes them unique, because you have Kyoshi who has her very specific group of people, and they were doing a lot of very different stuff from both Kora and Aang, and were also very different from Yang Chen, who's, I think, if I remember correctly, her whole thing, if it wasn't Kyoshi, because it's been a while since I've looked into this shit, but her whole thing was more espionage with her friends than anything.
Titania is like 5-man band is like the hero's journey and how prevalent and shifting it is. Yeah, Twi's a big fan.
That is also true. Like, by the way, I played a game series, basically a short game series that actually does exactly this: Octopath Traveler. In Octopath Traveler, there is always a warrior, a scholar, a apothecary, trader, hunter. Was it dancer? And whatever the other 2 are. But here's the thing: each time in both games, the personalities of any of the characters that take up these roles are vastly fucking different. For example,
sorry, I keep interrupting you. No. Go ahead. I'm gonna go.
Yeah, I just quick example. The goal of, say, the motive and personality of like Cyrus and what's his name? Oswald. Both of them fill the role of scholar, right, in their story, which are basically the black mages of the party. But they're vastly different characters in their motivations. One is a guy who is obsessed with trying to find basically the true knowledge of the world in general, and is a teacher that wants to spread that knowledge equally and responsibly to learn from the past, whereas the other is trying to get revenge for the death of his wife and daughter. And he's like a broody, angry dad guy.
Well, there's one of those people who thinks that D&D classes are personality traits. Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah. The thing that made his dynamic a lot different was because that even though that he had a group of companions, he only trusted a single one of them with all of his really deep dark secrets and what he was actually doing. Like, all of his other friends were like very worried and tried to stop him with a lot of things, but it was only one singular friend that he trusted absolutely completely. So it's like that's a very different dynamic from all of the other avatars that we'd seen previously. Yeah, correct.
Okay.
So
Octopath is a great game, by the way. Go play them. But like, they're so vastly different. Go ahead, Pete.
What I was going to point out next is like Journey to the West. Like, think about like how many different like adaptations we have had of that. How many different like takes on that. Still have like the usual. You have your Wukong. You have you have a pig. You have a Buddhist. You have, I forget who but like you have the white dragon horse. Like, you have a bunch of these different kinds of like stories, anime, books that have like different interpretations of what is essentially the same story that still have like the same group, but you can like do different things with them.
You have another horse.
Yes.
Yeah. 2 horses.
Comfort in the familiar. While I was workshopping Avatar Neva for a video discussing this exact problem, the big rule I had for it was that there was no Team Avatar.
Kaiser.
And now he's muted himself.
You know what? Works for me.
Yeah.
Every stage of the journey involves an almost completely new supporting cast, with Lavi being the only other protagonist, and almost immediately I was inundated with questions from my patrons trying to weasel those things back into the concept, as if the idea of doing Avatar without them is simply unthinkable. It reminds me of Legend of Zelda, which rigidly adheres to form.
Well, hang on. Legend of Zelda, using that is a very bad example, considering now we have a completely open world thing for the gameplay, and a lot of people are complaining about that. So what the fuck are you talking about, Lily?
Also, narratively, there is a actual magical reason that there is a constant repetition of formula ever since like the third or fourth game.
Yeah. And like it's important for both the concept of Legend of Zelda and the concept of the Avatar, of repetition, of the recycling of the state of things. It is very Eastern in terms of its religious symbolisms, Lily.
Yeah, like freaking Avatar always had constant themes of cycles repeating themselves. Like, congratulations, you get the freaking point. The difference isn't all in the execution. If you don't think the execution is good, talk about that.
Wow! Who would have thought that two series about a legendary hero being reincarnated over and over again would have parallels with one another and would have very similar ways with how they. Yeah. Who would have thought about that?
Formula to such a degree that some people seriously think the presence of a green tunic is more important to a Zelda game than exploration and puzzle solve. The problem with this is that it sacrifices creativity.
Well, I mean, they don't have the they have the exploration, but they don't have the puzzle solving very much anymore in Zelda. Yeah. So why are you saying?
There's also iconicism to be considered. Like what you consider is the iconic element of the story. Now, it would be interesting if you bring back other elements, like I don't know, say Link's pink hair from A Link to the Past. You could bring that back. It'd be interesting.
And then Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, you don't have the green tunic, and no one complained as far as I'm aware.
Well, no, people did complain about that, but it's in the game. You can find it. It is actually available.
There you go. Who cares?
It's like
you can find them. It's just that they're trying to move away from the green tunic as being like the main thing now, because they want the blue knight uniform. But the legendary hero outfit is still a thing, and it's still there. You just have to find it now.
What I find interesting about the
not only that, but all of the other ones from the past games are there to find and collect too.
What I find interesting is that the blue knight tunic is actually it's inspired by the blue tunic we saw the Wind Waker Link in at the beginning of his game. Yeah. It's like, that's really weird how like it feels like that's a callback to that. It's not like completely out of nowhere, and he started out with it, so it's not like the most alien thing to us to see.
Yeah.
Creativity for comfortable.
Oh, I've just nothing to do with it. I call them Batwa and Totk.
Oh,
because
right.
Yeah. Formula to such a degree that some people seriously think the presence of a green tunic is more important to a Zelda game than exploration and puzzle solve. The problem with this is that it sacrifices creativity for comfortable familiarity. A new Avatar should be an opportunity to explore not just a new type of character, but a new way of telling stories and new approaches to philosophy. This is why my idea involved an Avatar who is a skittish, flighty coward. It contrasts both Kora, who loves being the Avatar, and Aang, who hated it at
guys,
first,
remind me, was there ever an episode of Phineas and Ferb that explored the characters more than what another episode did?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, nothing to do with anything. Just
file that away.
No reason why I'm bringing up another show that is about formulaic repetition and also still being original despite using that formula over and over again.
Still being widely beloved.
Yeah. I just felt like bringing it up for absolutely no reason whatsoever. I'm terribly sorry for making the stream even longer than it should be.
No, absolutely, we forgive you.
Rose to the occasion with a character who hates being the Avatar and never comes to love it, always seeing it as an unwanted burden. How does a character like that actually be the Avatar? And what does that kind of character have to say about the Avatar's place in the world and what it means to be one? So
wait, a character that hated being the Avatar and felt it was an unwanted burden. That sounds very familiar.
It sounds very familiar.
It sounds
Lily,
almost like
why-
fucking Aang.
Like, okay, like to be fair, I guess in a sense, like, okay, Lily trying to say that, oh, but her character is different because she, you know, Aang wasn't a skittish coward about his responsibilities. He was super, you know, energetic and fun loving, but he was scared of his responsibilities, which are totally different. Which, all right, probably, sure, but you can't deny that you're running through a very similar hoop there.
Yeah, it's
Right,
like
right.
it's I understand that there is a difference between the two, but you're making it out to be like the core character trait is the most unique thing about them, as opposed to their expression of it. Which
it's like
the idea at the center is the exact same as Aang, but you're expressing it in a different way. The same way that Team Avatar itself can be a core idea that is expressed in different ways. I'm not saying you're inherently wrong in wanting a little bit of variety here, but also at the same time, you are making it much more strictly like it has to be different, as opposed to it can rely on old tropes.
Yeah.
Also, I will say that while she isn't inherently wrong for wanting to have variety, she is inherently wrong for wanting to have a character that is so fucking worthless that she needs to have a babysitter at all times in order to do the most basic shit.
And doesn't develop out of it. She
that's-
has freaking anxiety over the prospect of her sister.
I'm sorry,
separating.
Lily, but you cannot talk about female characters and how they're treated in society when you literally have a character, a female character who is absolutely worthless without her fucking sister.
Yeah. No freaking shot. And also, you complain so much like, oh my god, there's not enough variety in regards to these character dynamics when show-wise, you know, in terms of like TV, which most people are going to be familiar with, we've seen 2 iterations of these dynamics. We've only seen Aang's Team Avatar and Korra's Team Avatar. Barely anyone reads the freaking novels and books and comics. So what the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. I would love to see the differences between Yang Shen's Team Avatar and then fucking all these other ones. How about you talk about them in a video?
Yeah, why not actually go through them and just compare and contrast and see where that gets you?
Yeah.
Setting Avatar in a post-apocalypse is at the very least interesting. It's not the first global upheaval Avatar's had, and it gives the opportunity to break out of the old rules that strangled the predecessor series. Granted, this doesn't mean it's guaranteed to do...
Having 2 main shows and a couple of books having the same relative formula is not strangling the franchise, Lily.
Yeah,
Holy
what the
shit.
fuck? If anything, that's not even the problem other installments of the series had. It has nothing to do with them being strangled for creativity. It has everything to do with... in fact, if anything, in regards to specifically Korra, the problem is that the writers did not have... well, you know, granted, you know, this is partially because Nickelodeon rushed them and all this other stuff, but this is because there weren't enough creative limits for them to actually work around. They could essentially just do whatever they wanted as long as it was another sequel to Avatar and another season of Korra. That's the problem. When you have no limits on creativity, like all your creativity is just going to come up to mush.
do these things. Resetting the board is all well and good, but a problem that's been impacting the entire entertainment industry is that stories like this tend to hyperinflate the stakes to existential threat to our very existence right out of the gate. Is this resetting of the board going to come with an introspective story about finding the truth hidden among lies? Or is it going to do what Kora did, set up too many characters and plot lines for the limited time it has?
Or, you know, create a world-ending cataclysm by opening spirit portals in
I was
season
about
2.
to say, why are you pretending it's not going to go that route when we are establishing a post-apocalypse? That doesn't make sense.
Also, limited runtime. I thought we established that this was going to be 26 episodes long. I mean, like, yeah, that is limited, but you got like a lot of time to work with that.
Yeah.
It's not impossible to fuck it up in that runtime. You know, other series have done so within a similar time frame, but even then, like, this is just Lily, you know, having PTSD over Steven Universe because she can't handle a story, you know, any longer having a big global fucking, you know, world destroying plot.
Athens is setting out to be the shortest series, half the length of Legend of Korra. This is not enough time to do something like Vaatu or Kuvira properly. It's not enough time to set.
What? Hold on.
No, what? Why not?
Hold on.
What?
You absolutely can. The problem with freaking Kuvira and Vaatu and all this other stuff, it has absolutely nothing to do with the time frame. The pacing was never the problem. It's the actual writing within the scene.
Episode 1, Scholar at the North Pole. There's something weird going on with the fucking portals. Oh god, we gotta go warn the Avatar. Goes off to warn the Avatar. Rest of the story, it's them trying to travel through different parts of the spirit world, trying to figure out how to fix the problem with the fucking portals. Portals go haywire. World gets wiped. They meet God. God is like, hey, how's it going? I'm gonna reset everything for you because I think I like the Cuddy and Jib. And reset everything at the very end. Everyone's hunky-dory. Aang is alive and a good parent. Korra is actually a well-written character. Happy ending.
Like,
there you go.
Like, you 26 episodes. What do you mean that that's not enough time for you to like do something like those plots, but proper? Like, okay, to give you perspective, 26 episodes.
Oh my god,
Derex!
No.
I learned my lesson the first time. I'm not clicking that.
Oh no! What? Oh, I'm scared.
You can rant about Daredevil first before I click whatever this is. No, you should just throw it up on screen. God damn it!
Holy shit! We're going now. We're going now.
I felt this was coming, but god damn it, I feared.
What the shit, dude? When the D&D session is there. Actually, you know what funny thing is? I watched this like RPG horror story video where the story is that there's this table and there's this one chick who is just weirdly hypersexual about everything to the point where when, you know, she implies certain stuff in character, she actually does some of it in real life. So one of them involves like taking her top off in character, and she actually takes it off her to guys, and that's why the OP of the horror story just left the freaking game because it's getting way too fucking weird. I left for a few minutes and come back to this. Well, Sai, this is what you signed up for.
Where was I? I was about to rant about something, but like now I have
that.
Digidong.
Hey, there was no dong on screen. Any dong you were imagining is of your own creation.
Thank you. I was just about to say the same thing.
Anyways, okay. Lily, what do you mean 26 episodes is not enough for you to be able to do something like a plot?
Yeah, you said
proper.
it's a season.
Let me give you perspective. So you have 26 episodes, about like 23, 25 minutes an episode. That's about the same runtime as a season of Daredevil, which had 13 episodes that were about 50 to 60 minutes long. To give you an idea, Daredevil season 3, you had so many character arcs all going on at once. You had Karen Page, who was dealing with the fact that she killed Kingpin's best friend back in season 1. You had Foggy Nelson, who was now running for district attorney and trying to do so as a way to be able to keep off of Fisk's hit list. You had everything going on with Fisk as he's trying to, connive and trick his way out of prison. You had Agent Nadim, who was falling for all of Fisk's tricks and then his slow redemption. You had Bullseye's whole thing about him slowly going insane entirely. You had Matt Murdock, whose whole plot was about deciding whether or not he was going to, kill Fisk and whether or not he should have.
Yeah.
And or if he should.
It's right. Evangelion, Gurren Lagann, Cowboy Bebop,
yes.
Steins Gate, Madoka Magica. fucking
Free reign.
You can do so much in that time. You can do fucking.
Why am I blanking on it? Oh God, why am I blanking on the good? Why do I only remember the shitty one? Astral Ocean. Fuck.
Eureka 7.
Eureka 7. Thank you. Why was I fucking know? Eureka 7.
You got PTSD.
Yeah,
it's
I do.
okay. I understand.
It's like we could just keep on going. Wakfu is really good.
Yeah.
It's like there is literally you need 5 minutes of time in a show to really ramp up the stakes to world-ending consequences and do it well. Now, it takes a lot of time and effort to write that. Maybe you're not used to that, Lily, but you can. Shit. It is possible.
Yeah, like, dude, if anything, the problem with a lot of shows these days is that it's not necessarily that they don't have enough time. It's that they either don't have enough time given the scope of what they're working with, or they're not efficient in using that term. Using that time.
People are trying to say Arcane Season 1 and a place further
Arcane
than
Season
Universe.
1.
Well, no. Yeah. I need to clarify here. She's talking about even larger stakes than what we have already seen prior in Korra. She is talking about an escalation of the stakes. Arcane Season 1 didn't really escalate beyond that level, and A Place Further Than the Universe was incredibly well grounded.
Yeah.
So
it's still like the fucking the problem again with Korra was never about the pacing. I don't think I've ever seen that as a complaint among anyone criticizing Korra ever. If anything, the problem is that time gets constantly wasted, even though they have so much time to work with.
Yeah.
So let me just mute again. Hold on.
Avalanche of characters Korra had. Korra didn't even have enough time for those things. This is my only real concern with Seven Havens. Are you going to tell an interesting story with such a premise ripe for interesting stories, or are you just going to make more big fight scenes? Are you going to have interesting characters that explore interesting themes, or are you going to deluge two-dimensional characters all over the place and have too many to do anything with? Are you going to accept the time constraints you have, or are you going to cram a 65-episode series into 26 episodes? Are you going to take this chance for a completely fresh start, or will you waste that time on the kids and grandkids of the previous cast? Only time will tell if this is the case, but previous examples from Break make this an omnipresent issue hanging over the series, so temper your expectations. What do I want to see, though? Easy. Given that the story is twofold about the Avatar reuniting...
Oh, should we address any of that?
They
seem like reasonable questions to some extent, but...
the only thing that I really have an issue with is describing 26 episodes as like any kind of like real time constraint. You have like so much time to do.
I would murder for a 26 episode season of something.
Yes.
Yeah.
If any,
I have murdered. I mean, sorry.
She's talking about how you're cramming a 65 episode long season, but in most shows that are longer than 40 episodes, you're even shows that have 40 episodes to their season, you're gonna have filler content in there, Lily. If you just take out the filler content, you can have a much shorter series.
Yeah, like freaking what? Shugo Kara. Like, was it 50 episode seasons?
Yeah. Out of an 12 volume manga.
Oh, I think she would love Shugo Kara. No, or would she hate Shugo Kara? What do you think?
I think that she would be very angry at certain aspects of Shugo Kara, mainly doing with the shipping, and also probably to do with a certain character that leaves for a while and comes back.
Okay.
You have to be more specific. Oh, Nadeshiko?
Yeah, Nadeshiko.
Okay. I was going to say, I think she'd love Utao.
Actually,
probably love Utao, but probably also
hate Ikto.
Yeah, Ikto. Probably hate Amu. Both love and hate Nadeshiko and
Wait, quick question. Quick question.
Yeah.
Which one's the sister?
Utao.
Utao.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, okay. Let's be clear. Shugo Kara, they take the Brocon character to an extreme. She starts, like, the first time we learn they're siblings, she's making out with him.
Yes. against his will. Like he is trying to like push her off, and she's just like
they look a
making
little
out
bit
with him.
different. They look like different colored hair and all that, but they are blood related.
Yes.
And literally, people are kind of weirded out by it, but no one tries to bring up you just sexually assaulted your brother. Like, it never gets addressed to the extent that it probably should.
Yeah.
Like, okay, I could go on. Like, it's an interesting dynamic, but it's also like I am actually all for the weird and uncomfortable dynamics, but I would like the world to react realistically to it because I find that the more interesting part.
Mm-hmm. And when I say that she would hate Nadeshiko, that's because Nadeshiko is actually a guy called Nagihiko, but he's not trans. And I'm pretty sure that
she would
there
definitely
would be
have
a lot
that.
of upset about that because the societal expectation of his family and dance when it comes to Japanese dancing culture and all of that has a lot more nuance and layers to it than what I think Lily would comprehend.
Hi, you're asking Celtic, what's the context? She wants to jump her brother's bones. I cannot, like, there is an emotional reason there, but the end goal has not changed. There is no further context. She wants to shag her brother.
Yeah, that is literally Utao's main motivation.
There is no extra qualifier to that. All right. Yeah, she's emotionally dependent upon him, but that's the be all end all. Like,
yeah, like Ikto's main relationship with his sister is that he tries to keep a healthy distance from her because he doesn't actually like how obsessed that she is with him, but he still wants to support her as like an older brother to a younger sister, but he has to he doesn't stay with her very long.
Like Jay, I don't think you're using that word right.
I just want to say that, and I mean this with all of my heart, Raymond is very lucky that I love him.
Troy was the one that showed this show to me. I'm not responsible for this one.
About just this. I'm not talking about just this. This entire fucking stream, dog.
Well,
the most X-rated stream.
Raymond is a dirty old bird. Thank you very much. I am a young bird. I still very, very nice plumage.
I mean, he would be throwing me under the bus if it wasn't true, because I was the one that discovered Shugokata, and then I showed it to all of my friends.
I would be throwing her under the bus, but she's already on the couch. All right.
Uniting with her sister and discovering the mystery behind why she's become so hated, what I want to see is a story that explores those two things to its fullest it possibly can. I want it to just be about those two things and to do it really well. I don't want Seven Havens to take any of the traditional Avatar stuff. Build your cast differently. Give Pavi a different relationship with her bending. She's a child, so she's probably not bending all four elements anyway. If you're going to have animal companions, don't just make it mascot and mount.
You mean like
Aang?
Aang?
Have Team Avatar, don't just rigidly...
1 minute, watch together wasn't working for me.
Avatar?
Oh my god, times. Don't have
Okay, 1 minute. Sorry, it glitched out. I couldn't pause. I was gonna say, like, you mean like Aang? Or are you saying you don't want it to be like Kora, who could bend literally three of the four elements?
Or is she
easily?
saying that she doesn't even want her to learn?
No, I don't think that.
No, what she wants is for the sisters to have a dependent relationship on each other.
Oh god.
Yeah,
well,
that's
you know
fine,
what?
right?
She probably wants is for like one sister have two of the elements and the other one to have the other two.
Anyway, if you're going to have animal companions,
Mom
don't
said
just
I could
make
have
it
the fire
mascot
bending.
and mount. If you're going to have Team Avatar, don't just rigidly adhere to the same formula you had the last few times. Don't.
Well, Mom's stupid. I'm gonna go buy a new mom at the mommy market.
Don't have Pavi get overshadowed by male characters around her. Let Pavi's relationship with her sister be front and center, and for fuck's sake, don't do a jealousy plot. If you have to emulate one of the old pairs of siblings, you do Mako and Bolin or Sokka and Katara. Do not do Zuko and Azula. We have fucking had enough of that shit.
Zuko
Okay,
and
but
Azula
those
were good at their
Why are we
derivatives.
so
This is-
angry about
Okay, wait, okay. No. None of these,
Yeah, fuck no.
as far as I am aware, are Zuko and Azula. All right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
For
Zuko
one-
and Azula aren't jealous of each other. What the fuck?
Well, no. Azula, I think, has
Wait, what-
jealousy over the fact that her mother loved Zuko.
Her
but,
mother
like,
loved her.
that was a
loved Zuko,
perception
right.
issue on her part, because I'm pretty sure her mom did love her, right?
Yes.
And even then, why the fuck are you haggling? Why are you nickeling and diming this show on whether or not they do a plot like that at all? Shouldn't you bother with the? Shouldn't the thing that would be the most important to you, Lily, critically, be the execution of the ideas?
Yeah, and also, I need to clarify here. I don't know about the top right or the bottom left, but in the top left with Katra and Adora, they are not blood related at all, and they kind of have the hots for one another. That's a thing. The bottom right, they are blood related siblings that also have the hots for one another. Lily,
I'm not playing the coffin of Andy and Lele, but like,
there is an
like they're all dysfunctional.
it's
and
not done
good-
yet,
good-
but it is a dysfunctional family, and I think it is confirmed that there is a incest route you can go on. I think the new one actually apparently had some pretty fucked up stuff related to that. I don't know though. I've only heard it by reputation. It is a game on my list to play because I love fucked up shit.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing though. Lily, you were just bitching and moaning about the formulaic nature of the Team Avatar, and yet your examples for what to do in a sibling relationship were just the same things that Avatar has already done with their siblings.
Yeah, like 2 times in a row. So we can't have a 5-man band, but we can have a positive sibling relationship. Get the fuck out of here, bitch.
Yeah.
Hi,
Jesus.
HG Fies. Yeah, it's the route everyone takes. Rightfully so.
Oh my god, dude. No, I'm you know what? I'm out of here. You know, this is my last time on the podcast. I had a good
Look,
run.
I'm pretty sure the alternative is them murdering each other, so I don't know. You choose.
Hey, you joke, Kaiser, but I actually have to leave in a little bit. I'll stick around if I can finish. We've only got like a little bit left.
We got 2
we
minutes
got
left.
2 minutes. We're fine.
Don't do old shit. Don't recycle the old formula just because
But if
it's
you do
familiar.
this old
I want
shit that I
new
like.
things with this series. I want new stuff. New. Only new. Those are my reasonable
No,
expectations.
if you
Now
like
let's
new,
get to-
then you wouldn't want the ship dynamic or the relationship dynamic between the siblings because we've already
Yeah.
had that. That's not
Why-
new
why you
anymore.
want-
It's not new.
Yeah, that's not new.
What was the bottom one? It was the coffin of Andy and Lele. You may now look that up at Degeneracy on your own time.
To the
Enjoy.
unreasonable ones. If what I suspect is true and Korra's responsibility for the apocalypse is in fact a red herring, then I suspect the real culprit must have lied about their responsibility. At the same time this came out, I had been both replaying Horizon Zero Dawn and watching the Chernobyl series, and I find that both are applicable here. Horizon is about uncovering the mystery of what caused the apocalypse, and what caused it was a greedy corporation that believed itself incapable of failing, run by a reckless and delusional idiot.
And it's also incredibly fucking stupid from what I remember hearing about it. So
I don't really care about this game. I never saw this.
yeah, I was gonna say there's also the compounding thing that this series. I don't know anyone that actually fucking cares about it.
And yet there are enough for them to keep making games on it. It's just.
Oh, Lily actually watches media not only made for children. I don't know. I can't wait to hear what she says about Chernobyl and how it's.
That's what I'm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like
Yeah,
to see that.
dude. Hey, Lily's Discord kittens who are totally watching this stream right now and haven't clicked off and already tried reporting it by this point. How about y'all do? You know what? Y'all pay Lily to talk about Chernobyl. See what happens then.
Well, it's Forbidden West that's critiqued, but even the original, I remember everyone was saying is kind of boring Ubisoft slop. So,
whose last act was to desperately hide his involvement from those who inherited the Earth. The Chernobyl series is mostly about the efforts to contain the Chernobyl disaster, but what it's actually about is the all-singing, all-dancing shit show that was the Soviet Union, a nation so obsessed with not being embarrassed and projecting a facade of strength that it freely lied and endangered the entire planet. The first line spoken in the series is, "What is the cost of lies?" I feel both.
Oh, it's weird how you don't mention at all how it was a communist system that completely despised capitalism and was like basically the inverse of what you were discussing with the other one. It's weird how you only raise the financial situation of the setting when it's the thing that you specifically hate.
But Raymond, that wasn't actual communism. I'm gonna
shut the. Yeah, I was gonna die.
I was about. We're on the same wavelength with the joke.
Listen, real Zionism. All right, the colony drops was a misstep. Okay, the true Continentalism has never been tried.
Look, Australia deserved it anyway.
Australia.
Both of these are the perfect vector for the new series.
Real opening spirit portals has not been tried. Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna give a hot tip to Break. Do not base your new Avatar series on a game series that everyone forgets about within like 2 weeks.
Yeah, your designs are already pretty fucking forgettable as is. Do not take that extra step.
A big reason they blew up the world in the first place was that Bright doesn't want to deal with the existence of the United Republic in 2026 after the twin horrors of the Russo-Ukrainian War and the Gaza genocide, but having it be...
What?
Why the fuck not? Having a place... That doesn't.
Does it maybe have something to do with there being a giant fucking portal to the spirit world and an overgrowth of spirit monsters overpopulating the entire city?
No, Raven, we're gonna ignore that. You're gonna ignore that, or else the city police are gonna come after you. Just shut up. Everything's fine. It's 3.5 Rontgen. Goddammit.
So, let me get this straight. Because two historical, global conflicts are happening in other countries, on one of which on the other side of the fucking planet, we're not allowed to create a story where people from different nations have come together to create a governmental system where they can all, ideally equally benefit. Is that what I'm hearing right now? As if no one in that circumstance would want to hear about such a thing as an ideal they would want to achieve.
Mark says, perhaps Brian and Mike realize that the Legend of Korra was a mistake and are trying to erase its world building. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Dude, this is like saying, oh my god, guys, we can't have a murder mystery show, okay? Jack the Ripper just happened.
I mean, you joke. But we did get rid of Ronald McDonald after the whole clown thing happened.
Oh my fucking god, why?
That the United Republic, along with the ethical voids that are future industries and Varric global industries, caused the apocalypse and then blamed Avatar Korra, would just be a natural conclusion, honestly.
Why would Varric blame Korra?
Also, you're the one that's making fanfiction up about this now, because you have these biases about what you enjoy in media. And then you're bitching about us or about the rest of the fandom just making these speculations up about Korra, and you don't like it because they're blaming a woman.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
You don't care about actually looking at the show or looking at a piece of media for what it is. You see it as an opportunity to just basically stroke your own ego and your understanding of global socio-economic politics.
To Alabaster Bone Man, I do. I'm Australian. Well, you should have thought about that before the fucking colony dropped. Jesus, unreasonable people out here, guys.
For sure.
It would simultaneously deal with the issue of the United Republic's existence by making it apparent that this was always a mistake to form this nation in the first place. It was the primary cause of much of Korra's grief as the Avatar, and was formed by her predecessor's fear of real impactful change. Do I think that's likely to happen? Of course not. This would require...
His fear of real impact... He saved the world and then formed Republic City.
Yeah, the reason why he formed Republic City was because they tried to expel all of the Fire Nation out of the other nations, and they fought back because they had formed families and they integrated into society.
Yes.
Like there was
If anything- Yeah, there was
I
like a
think
whole
that there was
comic
a
that
a
had-
woman that was an earthbender, but she was a Fire Nation a citizen, and she didn't want to leave her family and
Yeah.
her life there. And so their solution was to eventually form a multicultural society where everyone could get along and live peacefully together. And
Yeah,
you're
like, if
saying
anything-
that multiculturalism is bad and was a mistake.
Republic City sounds like a
anything,
placeholder. That's just because we're used to the word republic.
Yeah, if anything, Aang literally enacted large-scale change by going against the usual route of keeping the four nations separate. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's like one of the things that he said in the story, that no, the four nations need to be separate. Everybody has to go back to their nations. Fuck you. And that was something that he had to develop out of in that story.
What's hilarious about Chernobyl being referenced that Avatar OC of Lilies can radiation bend for some reason? Yeah, Lily does.
Oh
seem
my
very
god, I
shallow.
forgot about that.
Also, calling multiculturalism a mistake is just painful. I have no issue when people...
multiculturalism is a fucking mistake. Are you kidding?
I have
me?
no problem with someone saying that multiculturalism comes with its own downsides and exploring those, but saying it's a mistake is just silly.
Yeah, it's kind of racist of you, huh, Lily?
Hold on, I'm sorry, I'm still not moving past. What element bends? Wait, what element allows you what element allows you to bend electrons? Off of elements that have too many electrons. Wait, how would you bend it if like the atoms in the air don't have enough electrons for you to be able to form? What? How?
Wait, Pete.
Yes?
Incest.
I'm done. No.
No, we only got 30 minutes left, man. We only got 30 seconds left.
30 minutes. Holy shit. It's gonna be 30 minutes.
There a severe progressive shift from Bryken? I don't think that happened. They're only getting older and wealthier, and those are not ideal conditions to have some kind of great awakening. So I think my simplest, most reasonable desire is, good or bad, just don't recycle the same shit. Don't be boring. I'm CD Call, thanks for watching.
Was brought into human resources for repeated dead naming CD, which was deliberate bit and not CD, still adjusting to her own rebrand. CD was written up for backhand Pixie, but remains unrepentant. Pixie's fanfiction fuck buddy Phoenix was quoted saying, "Lamau, fuck around and find out." What?
Who's Pixie? I'm sorry.
Pixie's a little the avatar character. The avatar she uses for the person that was like, well, actually.
Oh, the straw man.
The straw man.
Pixie is the straw man.
Okay.
Who's Phoenix?
Oh yeah, she has like another straw person in her videos nowadays, who has a very similar design but different colored hair or whatever. So
Titania.
Check art. Well, what?
Here lies Sokka, the greatest pussy bender and strategist to ever live.
Fucking amazing. Death by Snoo.
That's a great edit. Good work.
Nice.
Good job. I love that. All right.
You see, I don't know who this Phoenix is. I would not hesitate to say I have a fuck buddy, but I don't. Oh, what else you got in this edit bit? Oh,
God.
Nothing.
Yeah, it's just the outro that doesn't really. We're finally done. We survived the Lily Orchard video.
Yeah, we had record time, only 3.5 hours for us. Yeah.
Damn.
Woo! Woo!
Congratulations.
Guys, you want to take a look at her fan fiction?
No. No. No.
I
don't want to
Look,
go through that again.
Fanfiction.
I can't. I'm not strong enough.
Look, if anyone wants
not
interested
strong
in
enough.
what Lily's writing looks like, you can find it. A bad fanfiction night at 10 p.m. on Friday nights. You can find the backlog of all of us reading all of Lily's bad fanfiction, starting I believe with episode 5 of the live streams.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can find
Live
us there.
scenes?
Sorry, I was burping. I was trying to hold it back. Can we look at TwyX Digimon fanfictions? No, sorry, those are private. They're paywalled.
Yeah, they're private. They're paywalled. If you wanna read those, you have to write them yourself. But I wouldn't recommend it.
You gotta treat yourself better on your birthday, Celtic. Well, you know what? This has been the best part of of it today. So at the very least, that's nice.
Because a lot of Avatar Neva is missing from the internet now since she got nuked off Tumblr again. Didn't she upload that shit in the fucking AO3?
Maybe.
I don't fucking know.
So yeah, she basically started scrubbing her fan fiction.
Well, I don't know if it was intentional or not. Like, I know she got briefly banned off of Tumblr. Like, I think
no,
last month.
Sai saying she didn't, and she checked.
Okay.
Number one rival says this felt like 5 hours. Well, that's accurate. One for each guy.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Please do not write fan fiction about Twilight and the Digimon, please.
Yeah, please no.
Like I am all for writing fan fiction, but I personally find it weird when you write fan fiction about real people. Like when you're in like VTubers and such, that's getting some weird territory. It's got to be a purely fictional character to me.
That's crazy work.
The funny thing, I was already marathoning the Star Wars Fixie reviewed before this, yet I was still not prepared. You see, what's wild is that, like, the next series after that, the Ruby fanfic we're reading, is somehow worse, that it actually mentally broke me.
Oh,
and
yeah.
We still got a few
I still need to
that.
catch up to that, because I haven't had the chance to.
Actually, reminder, like, this Friday, we're going to be voting on what we what we read following the fic that we're currently reading. We're going to be taking a bit of a hiatus on that. So be sure to be there to vote on that and make sure we read the fanfics that you want to read.
Yes.
So does anyone here have anything they want to announce? Anything they want to...
Nah, I'm good.
All right.
I am working on a video that will hopefully actually be released, unlike all the other projects that are being put on hiatus, about Isha from Arcane, and just generally some other stuff about like writing that I like to talk about. I will, you'll see it when it comes out. Besides that, I play video game streams on Saturday evenings Eastern Standard Time. Currently, we're going back and forth between Kingdom Hearts 358 Days and Sonic Unleashed Recompiled. This week and this Saturday in particular, I'll probably be talking about just briefly about my experience with watching the Devil May Cry anime, quote unquote. But I'm also thinking about possibly making a dedicated stream with some friends if I can get enough people who've also seen it to watch it. But
hey, to be fair, my Otismon is more charismatic than Edward. God, Twilight, but with my Otismon instead of Edward would be hilarious.
It would.
Oh, by the way, I guess one thing is that like I'm planning on making a highlight video of one of my other streams that I did. I was gonna probably try to make like a dedicated scripted video this month, but I'm so fucking swamped, man. I'm trying to graduate and get my freaking degree, and it's coming down to the wire. I got so many papers to write, so that will probably be the thing I'm gonna put out for this month, unfortunately. But I have so many good shit left to put out, so I hope everybody stays tuned for that. Also, I just checked, and I want to be sure about this. We hit 7K subs just yesterday.
Nice.
Thank you all so much.
Nice.
I lost so much money on that bet. I just, for anyone who isn't aware, I had bet. I made a bet among Kaiser and some of his friends 7K by the end of 2024.
All right. Well, I don't really have anything new to announce. Still working on fixing Ruby stuff. In fact, tomorrow, the artists already know this, but I'm going to be assigning the art for Fixing Ruby Volume 7. So we're going to be getting that underway. And so it's going to be exciting. Now that everyone's basically ready to go and got a lot of things set up, I'm so hype. But yeah, that's about it. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll catch you all on the flip side.
Goodbye.
Stay platinum.